Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act. But people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
It was all England yesterday after the crucial first hour didn't entirely go their way, but the rhyming couplet of Stokes and Folks proved pure poetry as they got better with every stanza, and by time the hosts declared it couldn't have felt much verse for South Africa. Still, the tourists can very much play to their own metre, and by the time we scan the scoreboard this evening, we could have a real game on their hands. I like to hear a chortling messages in the background in the morning.
That was laboured,
and possibly one of the worst intros I've ever written, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket, the crunchiest, tastiest, poetryest revolutionary cricket commentary you're ever likely to hear. I am Gorilla Hendo, Nigel Henderson, and labouring alongside me I have none other than a rather healthy looking bear.
Why, thank you.
And out there in Western Australia, he's back. He went away for a day and upset the firmament. The world turned on its axis and we didn't really know where we were, but he's back. It's Messages.
I missed you all, Hendo, but I got to tell you, if you're trying to out-pun the Bishop, you've got no chance, my friend.
No, well, I sat there in my car and I thought, what am I going to say this morning? And then I thought, Stokes and Folks, let's have a little bit of fun with poetry. And of course, you will remember that Smaximum did have a haiku of the week for a while, and then we ran out of ideas. So, you know, I'm very much into poetry, and in fact, there is a poetry season going on BBC4 right now, if you're in the UK or you have access to that. via iPlayer, and that's even more laboured and pretentious than me. Anyway, what do we think? South Africa are a long way behind. They have a lot of hard work to do. Bear has got a theory. He said he was going to save it until we're on air. It's a theory that came from the words of Ben Folkes, one of the Centurions, last night. What is it, Bear?
Well, yeah, he said that the wicket was quite slow, but he said the thing that's going to do them is the up and down. He said that it was getting quite up and down already yesterday, and the ball was sticking a little bit, but occasionally coming through. He said the spinners weren't too bad. The odd one kicked and turned, which obviously will get worse as the day goes on, and you know, Leach is a decent enough spinner to hopefully do. They've got a lot of right-handers. Got to get through these. I do think England struggle because the top two. I mean, I know we've been reasonably successful against left-handers, but I think a lot of right-arm bowlers have worse averages against lefties, and we struggle. And once you get through the top two, then it's a whole bunch of righties that they'll be much more comfortable bowling at.
Strangely enough, I think that in a way Leach would prefer bowling at the left-handers, because then he gets to use the rough, doesn't he, outside their off stump.
Yeah, he's definitely getting better at that, because he's had to. I presume you know, I don't know how many lefties he's bowled to, but international cricket, there's an awful lot of lefties now, so you've got to be able to do it as a spinner. I do think he's getting better at it, learning how to use the rough better.
What do they call them out there in Australia? Is it molly dockers? Is that the correct phrase for left-handers? Messi?
Well, yeah, no, I've actually never heard it used other than sort of apocryphally.
Okay.
They're just lefties.
Just lefties.
As far as I'm concerned.
Southpaw.
Southpaw,
Southpaws.
Yeah.
There is another word, and I can't think what it is offhand, but there you go. We were looking earlier on Sky Sports. Sean Pollock and Michael Atherton were looking at the biomechanics of Anrik Nortje's action, and we thought there's actually very, very little. I mean, it may be true that little adjustments make all the difference, but we were looking at a couple of views of him from 2020 and 2022 and why he was so much better now. And there wasn't really anything apart from his head looking a little bit straighter.
His head was a little sort of couple of inches to the left or something, and his arm was about 2 inches lower. You know, it's like, well, maybe that is a difference. But we also decided that maybe they just picked the ball that actually, you know,
proved their case. I think there's a lot of this goes on. I noticed in a lot of cricket articles that actually, if you leave out a salient point, you can prove your case quite well. I think that's for all journalism, really, to be honest. But there you go.
Yeah. What's the other thing about Nortje that I thought of yesterday was I heard his jingle. I thought his jingle has grown on me since 2020.
1920. Yeah, well, it's been 102 years, Messi.
The brilliance of that jingle combined with the Nokia ringtone is just stunning. I don't know, was it a Senor Peel one or?
I think it might be a Mog.
It's bloody brilliant.
Is it a Mog one? It doesn't sound like a Mog one.
Yeah, it is a Mog one.
It's a Mog one. It's a brilliant Mog one.
Mog has expanded from grindcore, which, as he pointed out on the podcast the other day, we all think of him as grindcore, but that's how he started. You see.
Yes, exactly. This is the kind of thing you have to do. You have to make an initial impact, and then you can do the things you really want to do. Anyway, the England team is on the way to the middle. The two umpires are reaching the pitch now. Again, tardy spectators are not in the ground. Get in the ground, people.
Well, it's Saturday morning. We had a big Friday night.
So I thought Friday nights were out now amongst the younger generation.
Well, this is true. The younger generation don't do nothing, apparently.
Don't do Friday nights. They don't,
man.
And then they've all got erectile difficulties at the age of 25. Extraordinary.
As we discovered.
As we discovered. Anyway, opening the batting.
Let's not go into that.
Yeah, probably not. Opening the batting for, or even the bowling for England, we think this morning it will be.
Well, presumably it'll be this man.
No. Oh, goodness me, talk about left field.
What? You're fucking kidding me. Oh, I reckon bloody Stokes does this shit just to be different.
I think he does. This is just nonsense, isn't it? Joe Root will take a hat-trick now. He's going to open the bowling. Would you believe it?
Well, this will be. Is it a spin wicket? Who's he bowling to first?
Irvi, I think.
Irvi, this man.
Oh, Sarah, they finally sent you to away.
Smokey.
Got me counting your many birthdays.
massive and ridiculous appeal first ball as he tries to sweep a ball that's probably going a yard down the leg side. Good appeal though from Root, you have to say. He was pleading, he was down on his knees.
Down on his knees.
3 men round the bat. And maybe they're just not going to bring the serious bowlers on until there's enough people in the ground. Root in, bowls. A very full indeed dugout on the line of leg stump by Hervé. And there is no run. 23 for no wicket. They trail by 241. It could go either way. It could be a collapso, or it could be a magnificent effort by 2 very strong-willed men. This is driven to Johnny Bairstow, who's taken up position almost parallel to Joe Root. Not quite the off Hayden, but a little bit wider than that.
It's all a bit too full, isn't it?
It's all a bit too full at the moment. He's got a leg slip, an orthodox slip, and a short square leg, and it does seem to be rather looking for the leg stump line, maybe trying to get it to straighten from there. He's in, bowls, and forward comes Hervé, and Ollie Pope suddenly realises there's no one behind him at mid wicket, so he has to go scuttling after that, prevents the single.
I think there's less turn off the straight basically, because it's not been
Although
churned up
Maharaj
as much.
got 1 or 2 to do.
Yeah, 1 or 2,
One
but
or
I think
two.
there's quite consistent turn from the rough, but it's a better wide, isn't it?
Throws that one up, driven by Hervé, lovely shot. He's not going to put up with this nonsense for too long.
Right,
And that
so.
has gone away to extra cover for one of these.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
I suppose all they're doing, they're checking all the bags, and someone is sort of passing along the queue. Don't worry, it's only root bowling.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
missing anything.
Yeah. He's borrowing pies.
So, 27 for no wicket. Hervé moves on to 16. First scoring shot of the morning, and a good one too. And he settles down to face the final ball of the surprise route over. He's in, bowls again onto the leg stump and tickled past Pope. There is a man at backward square. Jack Leach runs around. Jack Leach is wondering how on earth is root bowling before me, amongst others. 28 for no wicket. Hervé will keep the strike. Who's joined us on the Twitter sphere this morning?
I'm sorry, it's just in Australia the term surprise route has different connotations.
Surprise. That
Mark
sounds
says,
illegal to me, but anyway, carry on.
Just as I thought, says Mark, hello. You might have to add punniest to your list of gorilla attributes. Warren says, morning all and welcome back, Messi. Thank you. And Mog says, dipshit football commentators at all times use Molly Ducker to refer to left-handers. These commentators are also fuckwits. And,
right. What is the other
and
word?
Ravi Nair says, a day of South Africa scoring 300 without losing a wicket. He's obviously trying to put the reverse jinx on. And Jay Grover says, yeah, morning all, Molly Dockers is just a new one on me, just like Celtic folk punt band. And Mog, in response to the comments about his jingle, says, yeah, fuck you, motherfuckers, I've got range.
I've got range. I've got variety, darlings. Anyway, it is going to be Jimmy Anderson. Common sense has prevailed. And Jimmy Anderson, we've done his jingle, don't need to do it again. He's going to open the bowling, possibly from his own end. And the camera is focusing on a rather despondent Jack Leach, who now understands that Joe Root is the leading spinner in the team. Hervé to face, right arm over the wicket, too wide of the off stump, tumbling Ben Folkes takes that to his left, and there
Just
is
to be
no
fair, Leach couldn't have opened because he bowled the last over last night.
very good point. So maybe Joe Root's just bowling that one over, and Jack Leach will come in for the third over of the morning. That's interesting piece of information. So to say, of course, the GPL is open. Don't forget to take part in the GPL, the Gorilla Prediction League. Estimate how many runs you think will be scored in the day. You have until lunch to do so. Give you more info on that after this delivery from Anderson. 3 slips waiting. This is back of a length, defended on the bounce, back to the bowler, and there is no run. You go to gorillacricket.com/competition. Follow the instructions. For every forecast, you pay us £1, and if you get it on the nose, you get all the money that's in the pot. What's in the pot today,
What's in the pot today?
Today,
57 quid.
57 quid.
Yeah, we've had a pretty poor response to the GPL for the last couple of days. So get your act together, people. Anderson in bowls, closer to the off stump this time, but Hervé shoulders arms again. I think we've only had about 14 entries the last 2 days, which is quite frankly pathetic.
Yeah, 57 quid's not a small
mine.
amount of money.
It's not a small amount of money, so get your forecasts in. I mean, how do you expect us to survive if you don't do that? Or sign up to Patreon. Patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket. Even now, if you are only a £2 Patreon, you get the Smaximum and the podcast. So extras for everybody. In comes Anderson. Sunshine filters through, but the ball filters away from the bat. Jack Leach is struggling after it. Will just about get there, pulls it in, and they should get back for a third. They do. Hervé up and running this morning. He's got 7 already. Goes to 20. South Africa 31 for no wicket. And I think England are in trouble.
Well, they started a bit slow, haven't they?
Well, if you will give Joe Root the first over.
It doesn't take you much, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
Not really.
They're
Not
still
really.
200 odd behind, you know.
I can't really decide whether I want there to be cricket tomorrow or not. I mean,
Well, I'm not in tomorrow, so I don't care. Because
You don't care.
I'm pretty certain it's going to end tomorrow, so I won't have to come in on Monday.
I don't mind if it's. I don't mind if it's just sort of before lunch, because I've still got to go and see my mum tomorrow again. So it's a case of how I fit that into the day. I don't suppose it'll go on till late in the day, so there's no point in me going there first and then coming here afterwards.
Well, it could do. They could score 500.
No, they could. Anderson round the wicket now to Elgar. It seems to wrap him around about the hip, but he may have got a little bit of bat on that. Waiting to see. No, I think it is a leg by. 32 for no wicket. Trailed by 232. And once it comes down under that all-important 230...
Well, no, I reckon.
Sarcasm there.
I know.
Sarcasm.
But I mean, this is it. You've got to think that's a long way to go, especially, I mean, you know, they're not going to...
It's a long way to go when you're batting, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel so far to go when you're bowling. With the bowling team, that's a good ball from Anderson. He gets that to swing away from a line of about middle and leg across Hervé and through to the keeper. He seems now to sort of nod at the keeper as well, as if to say, well taken. So Hervé seems to be very generous in his praise. South Africa are 32 for no wickets. 11 overs have been bowled. 2 this morning. Just the 3 runs from that Anderson over. And for some reason at Sky, there are a huge number of children in the box with the commentary team today. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'm sure someone will keep us up to date. Fortunately, we don't have any small children around us today, which I always do feel is an impediment to us. No, well, Joe Root's going to continue. So there you go. It's a plan to bowl some off breaks at the left-handers. That I think that Jack Leach bowling into the semblance of rough outside the off stump would be better. That one does turn from Joe Root. He actually gets it on a line much more close to the off stump. Elgar leaves it and then goes and does a little bit of scratching down the wicket. The bear returns. Beerless. I thought he was coming back with a beer. In comes Root again. That's dead straight on the line of middle and leg, and just defended, almost just plopped into the ground in front of him by Elgar, who's yet to score a run this morning. He looks up, sees Root coming round the wicket to him again. He's in, and he throws that one up. He's onto the front foot, defends it into the covers. Little bit too full from Root, just needs to bring it back a foot or so to take advantage of that forward lunge and perhaps a bit of turn. He's in again. 3 men round the bat. That's a flat round arm delivery that he does specialise in from time to time. Not quite as low as Kedar Yadav, the Indian, who basically bowls underarm, it seems to me.
Sidearm.
Sidearm. 32 for no wicket is the score. Hervé 20, Elgar 11. There is a short mid-off. It's Johnny Bairstow for any slightly lofted drive. And Root is in again to the left-handed Elgar. Elgar goes back and that jumps on him. And well taken by Folkes. But
Really
also
well
somehow well avoided by Elgar, who was very much surprised by that. That straightened and bounced. That was the thing. It was the bounce, not just the turn. So maybe we've underestimated Root here. He's in again to complete the over, but that will be in Elgar's mind. It's a fuller ball and it strokes it to Bairstow, who seems to do a sort of handstand in stopping that. It's a maiden from Root, and South Africa are 32 for no wicket. Messi.
Farong says, Wibble from Poor as load shedding commences for another hour. I hope everyone's well. Back to rickshaw modifications. Jay Grover says, I hate the Nokia jingle, but only because I hate phone calls. And then says, you fucking what? And I'm not sure what that was in response to. It could be anything. Ravi continues the theme from yesterday. Says, Ray, yesterday's cathedral talk. Surely if there's a huge church built on the bones of the bear, Hendo and the bishop, it has to be called the Cathedral of the Holy Trinity.
Oh, absolutely.
To which Madam Mohan Sharma, our big fan.
Oh, yes.
Says, amazing imagination. Josie Oak says, afternoon, Root opening the bowling. What bollocks is this? Well,
what strange bollocks is this?
Mixed feelings about Ben Stokes, who I love his can-do attitude. I detest some of the stuff he just does just to be different. I think it's shit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that in sport. You get it with football managers who will suddenly play a bloke from left back at right wing, and you think, oh look, I've seen something that none of the rest of you can say, despite the fact he's only got a left foot. It's happened loads of times at Wimbledon. It's happened. I always thought Glenn Hoddle was a bit like that when he was managing England. Anderson into Hervé, and Hervé leaves the ball, which bounces a second time on its way through to Ben Folkes.
No swing at all this morning, is it?
Well, there was one ball to Hervé that I thought Anderson managed to get to go, but not very much, which is great news as far as South Africa are concerned. There was more swing yesterday morning, wasn't there, than there had been on the first morning, according to the CricViz stats, which is amazing considering the difference in conditions. Bright sunshine yesterday morning and gloom on the first morning. Anderson in again. Ooh, he almost got through his defensive shot there, really. He comes off a thick inside edge and runs to long leg for a single, but that came back into him a little bit. And I think he was a bit surprised. Just managed to get his bat round in front of his pad and picked up the one.
As you predicted, our listeners, as ever, can fill in the gaps for us. Josie X says those were the kids from the pre-game show where Sean Pollock was giving a fast bowling class.
Right, okay. I'm not sure how you give a fast bowling class in 10 minutes, but I guess, 33
you wouldn't
for
say no, would you?
Well, I suppose not. Elgar yet to score. He's got 11 from 35. Anderson's just adapting his field in some way. Oh, Rassie van der Dussen is not even changed. Onto the back foot goes Elgar and has to jab on that as it keeps coming into him from Anderson round the wicket.
Well, it looks like he's got a broken finger.
He's got a problem with the finger. I know that we knew that he had a problem with the finger and didn't field yesterday, but that's really strapped up, isn't it? And he's not even in his cricket kit, so
I don't think he's batting with that. That's a splint for a broken finger.
In which case,
he probably ain't batting.
It's really weakening this South African batting lineup extraordinarily, really. That said, they're an inexperienced lineup apart from Elgar, really. And Rassie van der Dussen's never got 100 in England. Or against England, I think.
I think he has an ODI. Well, not
he has an ODI one. That's a good ball from Anderson. That, I think, goes off the pitch and had Elgar prodding rather haplessly and helplessly outside the off stump. So Elgar's looked a little bit uncertain this morning against both spin and the pace of Anderson. That's a cracking delivery. It really is.
Did too much, really.
It did.
Hervé looks a lot more sorted this morning, doesn't he?
Yeah, Hervé is growing on me as an opening batsman. I wasn't impressed with him at first when I saw him in New Zealand, but he's looking more and more confident. Still got to get the big score. Bowled him with a beauty, Anderson. Anderson gives Elgar the stare, the grinning stare, as he runs past him with arms aloft. The stump's gone miles. It's taken out his off stump, and he was looking uncertain, and he's ended uncertain. Elgar goes without adding to his overnight 11, and South Africa are 33 for 1.
The crowd says you're out.
Just trying to see what that did. Was he playing for a little bit more movement there?
Yeah.
I think he was. He ended up being horribly front on, didn't he?
Squatting thing.
Squatting a little bit, yeah.
Kept a little low.
Did keep a little low, Messi.
Yeah.
But it's Jimmy who has the first breakthrough of the morning, dismissed at 11:14 a.m. That is a major blow, especially if there is no Rassie van der Dusen, as I'm told it's to be pronounced.
Absolutely.
Let's do some more tweets and social media.
Thank you. Yeah. Light Roller says, joining you fine folk again. Been busy today lopping branches to deter possums. Or you can come and take some of mine away.
Why would you want to deter possums? I had possums in my garden. I'd be more than excited.
I don't mind them in the garden. It's in the bloody roof where they're the pain in the ass. When they fight in the roof, it's like World War III's broken out. It's murder. And they piss down the ceiling.
Actually, to be honest, to be fair, I wouldn't be happy with possums in the garden because I don't have a garden. So it'll be someone else's garden.
How big are possums? They're
not very big. They're not like rats, though, are they? They're more friendly than rats. They're nicer.
They're a lot bigger than rats. They're beautiful looking animals.
Yeah.
But if you get them cornered, they got the sharpest teeth you ever saw.
Yeah, don't want them pissing through the ceiling, do you? I understand that.
That is a bit grim.
Keegan Peterson has come to the crease. He's got a jingle that will go a little bit like this when the Bears stop lighting up.
I'm not lighting up.
Oh, you're vaping. What was the final word to that? I thought he was going to say plonker.
The other guy that was a flog.
A flog. Okay. Well, Peterson needs a first Test century. Got 82 against India. In fact, had a good series against India. That series that South Africa won. But he's got to stand up and be counted today as Anderson comes into him, bowls him a full ball outside off stump, too wide, left alone. And through it grubs to Folkes. That is the end of a successful second over from Jimmy Anderson. South Africa trailing by 231 of 33 for 1. Messi.
Jay explains as you're fucking what was in relation to root bowling. David Stump says, I've been a very naughty boy. I watched the 100 last night. Woke up full of remorse.
Are you Catholic? If you're Catholic, I think you should probably go to confession over that, shouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. We'll finish about 1:30 tonight, and I've got an ODI starting at 7:40 tomorrow morning. So
who's that? Who's that between?
Zimbabwe and Australia up in North Queensland.
North Queensland? Where in North Queensland? Cairns?
In Townsville.
Oh, Townsville. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Leah says, hello everyone, just got back from the nerd depot. The wife needed some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Oh, you nerds, you love it. Mog says, cue Rassie van der Dusen coming out with shattered bones and making a match-saving 160 not out.
Well, that's what we'd like from Test cricket, isn't it? I mean, we've had those examples of Colin Cowdrey and Malcolm Marshall performing with broken bones, seriously broken bones. Now, oh my goodness me, Jimmy Anderson has got Dean Elgar out 6 times at an average of about 21. Well, it's the end of Joe Root. Anyway, for now, the experiment is off, and Ollie Robinson comes into the attack to bowl to Hervé, and his first ball is outside the off stump, left alone. And he's got a jingle that goes like this. Oi, oi, oi. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. I wonder whether, if England can bowl South Africa out by lunch, I've got time to get to Wimbledon v Barrow. Tony's off to football today, Watford v QPR. But you can't really give up a day of Test cricket for football, can you?
No.
They are valuable days, these, outside the off stump, a little bit closer to it, but once again left alone by Hervé. And
you got your annual Wimbledon win last week, so what more do you want?
Yeah, but I haven't seen the win live for 2.5 years. In fact, more than that, I think. Feels like a long time. That's not to say that they're going to win this afternoon by any stretch of the imagination, because Barrow have had a surprisingly good start to the season. Anyway, it's a long way for them to travel, so hopefully they'll be knackered. Barrow to Wimbledon's probably about 300 miles, 400 miles, something like that, isn't it?
Is it really?
Something like that. Yeah, it's right up there in Cumbria. Robinson in, bowls the straighter ball, fuller ball, defended back to him by Hervé, and there is no run.
Man, they've been stingy on the fall of the next wicket.
Have they? What they're saying?
52.5.
Really?
It's only 19 runs. I'm still going for it.
Did you just win? Have you already won?
Yeah, I just won the first one.
Ah, okay.
I'm looking for a collapse.
All is well with the Bears world.
Mog says a possum will bite your fucking finger clean off if you're on its wrong side.
Really?
I believe it.
Robertson
Oh,
bowls
that's it.
across the left-handed Hervé, who leaves this alone outside the off stump. What are those things in Tasmania? Tasmanian devils or tigers? Which one is it? They're
Yes,
quite vicious.
Yeah, the devils. The tigers are extinct.
They're
at the
extinct,
moment,
although
but talking
They're
about
bringing them back, aren't they?
How can you bring
Yeah.
back an extinct animal?
You stick it in a dog egg or something.
It's all very Jurassic Park.
You stick it in a dog egg?
Yeah, well, you get.
Oh.
Well, they've still got the genetic code because they died out
on
about
earth?
70
What on
years ago.
earth?
So they can take a bit of genetic code, whack it in an embryo and something else, and just grow it.
It feels wrong.
It does
Yeah.
feel wrong. Now he's in trouble here, Hervé, as the ball dropped down as he aimed to defend it into the onside. It hit him sort of between the legs or in the crevice as he was front on, and then dropped down and threatened to roll back, a bit like Dean Elgar suffered in the first innings
yeah.
at Lords. And he was alarmed. He reacted quickly enough and just got a little bit of bat on it. He almost ran into the stumps in doing so, but he has survived.
Was that the first innings? I think I was here.
No, it was
No,
Lords.
it was Lords.
What was it? Oh.
Yeah. Robinson in again, bowls to Hervé. If anything, bringing the ball slightly back into him. He defends with the full face of the bat up to mid-off. There is no run. That is the end
that's
of the over. A maiden to start with for Robinson. 5 overs, number 15. 33 for 1. Messi.
Jay says, hello possums. Messrs channels his inner Dame Edna. He also says, do you get post-nut clarity after enjoying a 100 match? Warren says, possums in the attic is new bats in the belfry. Oh, it's not new.
Possums in the
It's
attic.
been around for a very long time. And Leah says, speaking as a lapsed Catholic, like myself, there are sins you cannot be absolved of. Watching the 100 is amongst those.
Yeah, I
so
thought
it's
so.
another original sin.
Well, I read I read some of the high performance review or whatever it was. I read the
Yeah.
blog. I read Strauss's blog. It sounds to me like they were doing anything much anyway at all. Anderson bowls to Keegan Peterson. Keegan Peterson meets that with on the front foot. Broad diving across at mid-off, fails to stop it sufficiently to prevent them getting the single. So Peterson gets off the mark. 34 for 1.
The sense I got from it, Hendo, was that he was being very careful to make sure he wasn't accused of dictating the change, that he wanted to make sure that there was a consultative process, which is sensible on his part, let's face it.
Yeah, it was very inoffensive. But then a lot of these
you know-
consultancies end up being inoffensive and doing very little, but then sort of sneaking in things later on. So it's a little bit difficult to know.
Forward-facing, don't break eggs to make an omelette type nonsense.
Yeah, what was the phrase that future-proofing. I still don't know what that means. What does future-proofing mean?
It's bollocks.
I keep seeing it, but I don't understand it. Can someone explain what it is?
It's consultant jargon for theories of future.
Setting it up for the future so you don't have to do it again.
Proofing, God. Anderson in from round the wicket to Hervé, the left-hander. He presses forward confidently enough, plays into the offside. And there is no
tailed
run.
in a little bit.
Did a bit.
He's got it going both ways and straight on. It's dangerous, man.
Well, yeah, considering, we didn't think he was getting a lot of swing in the
Suddenly.
first couple of overs. He suddenly...
He's warmed up.
Yep. I think that one that went away from Elgar, the ball before the one that got him, actually was more off the pitch than in the air. And it actually swung again once it had gone past Elgar. He's coming in from the old pavilion end. Bowls and beats him outside the off stump. Played a little bit inside that one. I suppose when someone is angling it into you at that angle, it is easy to play for a little bit more angle than you think is there, than is actually there. Or maybe that just straightened a bit looking at the replay. Dying a bit on its way through to folks. And we were talking about, was it Broad was saying that the ball just loses it after 40 overs.
Yeah.
So on that basis, England have got 26 overs in which to get South Africa out. Anyway,
Possible.
Anderson again, 3 slips. He's in, bowls. Hervé plays that quite confidently up towards Broad. Broad makes a meal of jumping all over that. They get the single. Nonetheless, he goes to 22. South Africa to 35 for 1. Gorilla Prediction League, get on it quickly,
Oh,
because it might be over before you can think of it. In fact, if it's over before lunch, we'll cancel it.
Shutting it down at 8 wickets.
Okay, fair enough.
That's before
Getting
lunch.
a bit ahead of yourself there.
57 quid to start with, but it doesn't look like anyone's entered so far. Get on it, people! 3 slips a gully, maybe 4 slips, and a forward short leg. He's in, gets that to wobble to begin with, coming into Peterson. Peterson leaves it. Anderson gets moderately excited, but it ends up going safely through to Folks.
Imagine telling us that there was footage yesterday showing Rassie with a rather nasty dislocated finger.
Oh, dislocation.
The previous day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if he's not, if he's going to bat in his normal position, he needs to get his whites on pretty darn quick.
Maybe he'll come out if they're.
Maybe we're timed out because he didn't get ready in time.
There's no point coming out if you're injured and you're 11 down and you're 90
11 down.
Oh, no,
That's like 11 down.
9 down. You know, if it comes, yeah.
15 aside game. Anderson again into Peterson, gets to swing, but he comes forward, meets it nicely, straight up to Broad at mid-off, and that is the end of Anderson's overs. 5 overs, 1 for 11 are his figures. South Africa 35 for 1. The water is going through the bear very quickly, I'm afraid to say. He's topping himself. He's brought himself an enormous bottle of water to get rid of the hangover, I think. But as I did say, that would mean that he would be popping out of the room at regular occasions, and this is the first one so far. Ollie Robinson will bowl his 6th over very shortly. I should say GPL is open. I should say patreon.com. How good is the Smaximum, Messi? Tell people.
Oh, the maximum is just a laugh from beginning to end. Well, it's more than a laugh. It's very amusing, but it's also very informative. I really enjoy getting into the various points of view that come through, particularly, of course, from Chris Woke.
Absolutely. Hervé plays first ball, just reaching for that outside the off stump a little bit. Plays it to extra cover. There is no run. Yes, and now anyone who becomes a patron gets not only the Bishop and Bear podcast, but also the Smaximum. And if you're really nice, I'll send you previous editions if you become a new Patreon, so you can read it all. I mean, obviously some of it is time sensitive. It's the moment has passed, but still quite entertaining. So go to patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket. Tell all your friends. Tell them to sign up. The more of you that sign up, the more Gorilla Cricket can flourish. Robinson in to Hervé. Found the edge, just short of second slip. Crawley diving in front of first, who's, as you know, first slip tends to be staggered a little bit further back from the wicket keeper. So he maybe thought it wouldn't carry to first slip, and I don't think it would have done. In fact, it may well have fallen short of. Oh, actually, was a chance. One-handed, just. It would have been a magnificent snatch, and that is not an invitation for the pawn bot to get involved. But great effort from Crawley. To be honest, he's got a long way to go down. Robinson in again. Outside the off stump, probing now Hervé, and has found quite a nice line there. He defends it well enough though. To extra cover again. There is no run.
Peter Lloyd tells us that it's 312 miles from Barrow to Pyle Lane.
There you go.
5.5 hour journey. That's with paying the M6 toll. So if you don't pay the toll, probably 6.5 hours.
Yeah, Barrow. Surely Barrow can't afford to pay the toll. It's not like they get massive crowds up there in the. Man, there's not many teams up there to support. I suppose there's Carlisle. I'm not sure how far Carlisle is from Barrow. Or Robinson bowls outside the off stump, left alone. I did have a friend when I worked in Bermuda who had worked on the Northwest Evening Mail, which is in Barrow, and the thing he told me most about Barrow was there's just a long line of nightclubs. I don't know whether there's anything else.
It is.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the
it's
last
sort of
thing you'd expect, isn't it?
It is kind of, isn't it? It sounds like sort of more like Ayia Napa than Barrow.
Fuck all else to do.
Possibly.
Bear, do you want to check if Jacob's waiting to come in?
Jacob's not waiting to come in, but Cricket Connoisseur is in.
Oh, good.
How long before I'm hauled out of the attack?
End of this over.
Robinson in, bowls to Hervé, finds a thick outside edge. This is going to bring him runs though. Bairstow chases along with Alex Lees. Lees is going to flick it back to Bairstow. Good work between the two of them. They will get back for a third. Peterson is quite swift between the wickets. 38 for 1. Hervé moves to 25. yes, good work between the two Northerners. Chasing that down.
Both Yorkshiremen, aren't they?
Well, they are both Yorkshiremen, aren't they? Of course,
But
Alex Lee's now at Durham.
Yeah.
But Yorkshire by birth.
Mog's doing his bit for Australian tourism. He says a Tasmanian devil won't just bite your finger off. Those little buggers will take your whole arm. They've got a bite like a great white shark.
Yeah. It's a very dangerous place, Australia. Really is.
It is, yeah.
I don't know how I've survived 3 visits there.
Well, we don't have
just been lucky.
Prime Ministers, thank Christ.
That's true. They are the most vicious. This is worked down to long leg by Peterson. He'll pick up a second run. It's the end of the 16th over. It's the end of my spell for the time being. South Africa 39 for 1. And taking over ball by ball, I believe, will be the Bear.
It'll be me, yeah.
I'll stay on socials until Jacob turns up.
Yep, that sounds like a good call.
Angelic Scooter says, morning, gents. Yeah, I'm with Messages and quite excited for some Sunday morning cricket. And Cricket Australia doing the right thing for a change, almost as much as I am for an 18-degree forecast in Canberra tomorrow, where it gets bloody cold at this time of year. Been sick all week, so it'll be nice to have some warmth. And the Pornbot says, ball in the crevice, kick here. Oh dear.
Morning, Aaron. How are you, mate?
Very good. I must say, what a start this has been for England. And yeah, the man right there, Jimmy Anderson. Brilliant ball, wasn't it?
That was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's bowling at Peterson now, and he just defends it out to the covers, and there's no run. You see much of the game?
Yeah.
You watched it all? Okay.
Yeah, it's been a very good test for England, to be honest, so far in general. South Africa definitely on the back foot, but yeah, we've got to take these wickets, haven't we? The game is not won yet.
They've got a long way to go. You've got to be patient, I think, when trying to get, they trail by 225 still. You've got the main man probably in Elgar out. Is Rassie van der Dussen going to bat? If he's not, it's all looking good. What are you looking for? Your phone? Left alone, through to the keeper, and there's no run. Yes, looking straight at it, Hendo. Oh, Jacob is here.
Oh, good.
Let me just let him in. Yeah, Jimmy's bowled fantastic this morning. It was a bit weird to start with Root.
Yeah, a little bit, but then again, I mean, 2 left-handers, England trying something a little bit different. It's the Bazball way, isn't it?
Yes, you can see kind of the logic. It's just that Root probably isn't. And I thought actually Hendo was quite right. Maybe you should have probably gone with Leach. You're going to get more action out of the rough that was wider of the off stump, which could have caused more trouble. Anderson in straight, defended by Peterson. Out to the covers once more. There's no one. Morning, Jacob.
Morning, Bear. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. I've just received the latest tweet from Messages, so I'm raring to go.
Excellent. How's your week been so far?
Chaotic. I'm doing my master's dissertation while working, while watching the cricket and commentating. It's all a bit hectic.
Yeah, sounds manic.
Are the journos at the Sun going on strike or attempting to?
No, it's only the Express. Hilarious.
I know, that's genius, isn't it? That's a bit too wide by Jimmy. It's defended by Peterson square on the offside, and there is no run. I did have to have a little chortle when I read that.
It is quite funny.
Yeah.
I don't work for the Express, so I'm allowed to laugh at them in public.
Of course. A weird thing I found out is the editor at the Express is a member of the Labour Party. I found that kind of weird. I don't know how. I don't know how you could work for.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
I have no idea who writes the Sun Says opinion columns where I work, because I've not met a single person who believes a word of it.
Yeah. Jimmy pulls out, delivering his 5th ball. Keegan Peterson. He's quite a slight little fellow, isn't he, Keegan Peterson?
He is. He's an interesting one. He's got a lovely straight drive as well. I noticed that in the first innings. He's got lots of control with that shot, but it's just that fencing outside the off stump. It seems to be his downfall.
He reminds me a little bit of a Rahane. He's a bit like Temba Bavuma, really, in stature. Not as short as Temba. There aren't that many who are. Oh, now that's a decent ball by Jimmy, tailing in. Well played by Peterson. Just clips it up to mid-on, and there's no run. 39 for 1, South Africa. In the 17th over. And I think there's going to be a little bit of up and down bounce today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was going for the shot there, wasn't he? He was trying to muscle it down the ground, but
that's the modern way, isn't it? It's coming into the pads. Modern pro can play it anywhere, really. That's where they like it. Your average amateur like myself misses the straight one, gets given LBW, but you know, such is life.
yeah, I can't comment on that. My batting average is 4.67, so the less we talk about batting, the better.
I don't know what my career average would be, but it'd be pretty low.
I'm about 2.
Jimmy Anderson in big inside edge onto pad, goes out square on the offside. There is no run, and that ends the over. And over to you, Jacob.
Jay Grover says future-proofing equals it might be good if we made money in the future as well as the present. Cheers, that'll be $100 grand consultancy fee.
Yes.
Warren says future-proofing is electing an egotistical arsehole who has a god complex and nuclear codes in his cupboard. Brian001 says, is Broad saying the ball is losing it at 40 overs to justify their constant demands to replace the ball, or does the ball really lose it after 40 overs?
Well, it's certainly in the first innings when it got to around that time when, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Rabada took it to the English bowlers, and then the ball seemed to stop doing stuff. Is it, is one a consequence of the other? Difficult to say, but it has seemed to seem like that be like that all summer. That one's left alone too wide by Robinson. Hervé leaves it through to Folkes and there's no run. Apparently the balls have been sorted for this series. I haven't been changing the ball as much. It was all the time in early part of the summer. Seen a couple of ball changes in these tests, but not too many. Just watch the setup that got God. It was beautiful.
Did it hang it in the Louvre? That is gorgeous.
I know. The one that goes away and then the one that goes straight on. And it kept a little bit. And the bounce variation, there you go. Big difference. Too wide of the off stump again by Robinson. 85 miles an hour. He's certainly come back looking better.
He has, yeah. It's good to see, and there was a great stat the other day as well in terms of Ollie Robinson pitching it on the good and full length in Test match cricket. 51% of his deliveries have come on that channel and on that length. I think he's the most consistent bowler since 2000 in that regard.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I saw that too. He has apparently bowled more traditionally good balls in as a proportion of all the balls he bowled than anyone.
It's a great stat, isn't it?
It is a good stat. And the good thing about him as well is that's defended at the offside and there's no run. He gets it to go both ways. Seems to have control over that. It's got a good wobble seam delivery. And he seems to have put on a yard or two of pace, having lost a little bit of timber. Hopefully we can keep him fit.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, isn't it?
It wasn't really fitness though, was it? There was times that it was food poisoning and things like that, wasn't it? He can't have been looking after himself very well.
No, it's just unlucky, wasn't it?
Well, it's the Jack Leach thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had that year of
that year. Well, exactly.
I know he's got Crohn's disease, but he was just injured and then ill and then everything.
Yeah. Left alone outside Hervé's off stump through the keeper and there's no run. Got to try and make Hervé play.
Absolutely.
A little bit straighter. He's good at leaving, and it's quite boring to watch.
Depends if you're a South Africa fan, though. You want him to just stick around, don't you?
Yeah, well, of course. Even then.
I'd be happy for him to leave for 3 days.
That's a very good point. Yeah, do you think South Africa can win from here, gents? Do you think there's any chance of them coming back?
They could. I think they have to get at least parity with England's score. That only gives them a lead of 150. They've got a quality bowling attack. That is defended up to mid-on. There's no run. The question is, spin does look like it's going to be effective, and maybe their strategy would have worked if they got enough runs on the board having batted first, but they screwed that part of it up. And they, it's going to take a big effort to get 400. And ideally they want to get 500 because they want a lead of around 250. That would make them favourites. I don't think 150 would, and that's an awful long way off. There's an appeal. Yes, and there is a wicket. Hervé has gone, having been a pain. It comes around the wicket, Robinson. Bowls one on that corridor. He goes to try and leave it. Must have got a thin under edge. Hervé's not happy with himself, but England are cock-a-hoop. The two lefties at the top of the order are gone, and out comes Aiden Markram. We've got second bet in too.
I'll get some tweets in. Dave Sarah says, have we ever had the leap bowling left but throwing right mystery explained? In reply to that, we have. I mentioned last time I was on, there was an article about how something like 2/3 of left-handed batsmen are actually right-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the other way around as well. I bowled left-arm spin, batted right-handed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, flipping heck.
Well, I'm kind of having. I play all sorts. So I play racket sports right-handed, and a right-handed. But I play snooker sort of left-handed. I kick left-footed. I play guitar left-handed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, but Peter Matzer replies to an article about India refining T20 form by saying, but not because they invented the 100 though.
No.
Peter Lloyd says 85 miles to from Barrow to Carlisle, 1 hour 46 journey. Blackpool, Blackburn and Preston are actually closer. I have no idea what.
We were talking about, I think it's the longest journey, isn't it? In the league today is Barrow are playing Wimbledon.
Oh, right. Joe Grover says the Express is going on strike. Oh my word, my morning is now made.
Yes. Well, I think they kind of avoided it. Management going back to them and having a chat.
And Ravi Nair says, is Aaron rocking a fawn tash to go with his fluffer? Will
for
the
goodness
filth
sake, not
never
this
end?
again. I thought we'd moved on past this, Ravi.
No.
And we have the return of the Gorilla Cricket Naked Fun porn bot, who says, Gorilla Cricket, I always thought that opinion pieces from the right-wing shit media came directly from a Murdoch arsehole.
Well,
And yes, that's me. I am that Murdoch
yes,
arsehole.
you have taken the shilling of the enemy. I can't. Well, we have a new batsman, and it is this man. And yeah, Tim's going to be on in a bit. This could be quite entertaining. I want to hear what he has to say. This man's back. Come out.
Cause he's a grinner, a part-time spinner, and his surfer. Yes, he's a winner.
But he's not facing. Because that was the end of the over. Keegan Peterson plays the first ball of the next over. Back past Jimmy Anderson. Not a great shot, not great timing, but he'll get himself two, maybe. Yeah, just two.
He gets us moving with his runs. Woo! Woo! Aiden Markram.
Well, it'd be interesting if they go out to the balcony to see whether Rassi has got any whites on.
Why might Rassi not? Is he injured?
Well, yeah,
injury.
he's got a finger
Yeah.
injury. It was in a splint, a steel splint.
I was at work all day yesterday, so I didn't actually see any of the match.
It was a good day yesterday. You missed it. England.
I
getting
got
two
the
tons.
highlights.
Yeah.
It looked really good, but I didn't pick up on the rest, and there's some finger injury. Sky Sports Cricket didn't include that in their highlights pack.
I think it happened on day one. That's probably why. When they were batting first up, he got hit on the finger. Peterson guides that one down towards third man and gets himself two.
That's even more worrying because I watched every ball of day one, so it just means I'm a bit thick or a bit blind.
Sorry, say that again. I was looking at the betting.
Don't worry.
Fall of the third wicket. Under 63.5. 20 runs they're offering me. That's pathetic, but I'll take it. Peterson, 6. Markram yet to face a ball. Trailing by 221 with 2 wickets down already. Playing away from his body. Don't really need to play at that, this Keegan Peterson, but he does. Square out to point, and there's no run.
It's an aggressive field, isn't it? I'm just looking at this. Men around the bat almost.
Yeah.
In those catching positions.
3 slips, gully, point. Yeah, that was a good ball.
Good take by Ben Folkes, that.
It was angling in, it straightened. Hervé was trying to draw the bat away, wasn't he? But he just got a thin tickle through the keeper. It's good, but very good delivery. It's certainly.
Robinson giving him the stare.
Yeah.
Don't know why. He's got his back turned to him.
in the channel outside off stump. Starts too wide, doesn't come back enough. And Jimmy Peterson leaves that one through to the keeper. Having Ollie Robinson back, certainly I liked Potts, but it's a definite upgrade, isn't it?
Well, it is, and Potts is still a raw recruit, isn't he?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's his first test summer. Ollie Robinson's a little bit more experienced, but when Ollie Robinson is fit and firing, it's that mix of both pace. I mean, it's not electric pace, but it's pace and control. It's exactly what you want in a test seamer.
Yeah. Oh, full gone, surely. In-swinger, yes, in-swinger, driven at by Peterson, tempted the drive. This is all going horribly wrong for South Africa. 43 for 3, Peterson goes for 6, little edge through to the keeper. Is he going to review it?
Oh.
Well, it was a catch, I presume. It's decision reviewed. Interesting.
Please don't be a no ball.
I don't think it's a no. I guess he thinks he didn't hit it, and maybe his bat hit the ground. I don't know.
Oh, he's missed it.
Oh,
the big
God.
gap.
Oh, that's shocking umpiring that.
Maybe the noise was his toe hitting with the
I
bat.
think he's hit at the same time as the ball passed the bat. He's hit his front pad just at the bottom with the toe of his bat.
Let's have a look again. Oh, there's a massive gap.
It's nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
Park a bus in between that.
In fact, there's no noise whatsoever.
There's a noise there, but I think it's just flicked his...
It looks like it's just flicked his back leg. Well, it's not going to be out. Damn, that was more money in the bank for me.
You're a much more experienced betting man than I, Bear, but the one tip I have learned is when betting on the length of the wedding, always go over.
Yeah, that's always a good call. Have you been to a wedding recently?
Not recently, but just as a general life tip.
Yeah, weddings tend to go on, especially the best man speech. Except for the one I did, because I was really hammered and I forgot it all.
God.
I know.
Who were you the best man for, and
My best mate.
what's happened since you stopped being friends with them?
No, not at all. His wife made a fantastic speech. It was very difficult to follow up, and I was absolutely hammered and nervous. Anderson plays that back down the track. There's no run, and the only thing I had was a finishing line to the speech. The rest of it was just I didn't know what to say. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. But hey ho, there you go. I never really liked making speeches. Ends that 7th over by Anderson. He was 1 for 15. Thought he had a second, but he didn't. Markram will face his first ball, and Jacob will give us some tweets.
Leah says, at least I won't miss any cricket during my podcast meeting tomorrow afternoon. Warren says, when the bear says, that's out, surely, I immediately think it's not out. And the light roller says, Hendo is welcome to the possums. They are cute for sure, but they are a pain in the backside. They eat most things growing and shit everywhere.
Well, someone's piled in. El Presidente has piled in on the GPL. We've got 12 entries so far. An hour and 13 minutes before it closes. It closes at lunchtime. Get in, of course, get it on the nose, you get the money in the bank, and with that it'll be into the mid 60s, 63, 64 pounds, there or thereabouts. That's probably a 2 days worth of gas these days, maybe only one come October. The stupid country of ours. Markram faces his first ball from Ollie Robinson and defends it back down the track. There's no one else out at 86 miles an hour. Definitely put some pace on Robinson.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he?
Yeah.
So far.
Well, I mean, he used to bowl, when he got fired up, he seemed to bowl sort of 83, 84. But he's been consistently up 83, 84, a little bit quicker occasionally. And certainly when he came back for his later spells yesterday, he was still at that pace, whereas previously he was down at 78 and stuff like that. This is a bit of a waste. He's in straight, defended by Markram, back down the track, there's no run.
86 to prove your point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's bowling sort of arrow straight, good line, good length. Glad he's back. Now, now all we need is Jofra and Woody to get fit. Maybe Wokes.
Oh, Wokes in home conditions.
Yeah.
Can't beat him.
Exactly. Is it a knee problem with Wokes? I don't even know what's wrong with him.
Knee and shoulder.
He's had a rough injury summer. He really has.
Robinson in, prodded at by Markram. Decent ball, probing outside that off stump. He defends it square on the offside, and there's no run.
I think Wood's on his way back, isn't he? He's been doing
He had to have a
cricket.
second operation. I mean, I saw him on Sky, I think during the ODI series. Yeah, he quickly realised he was going to need a second operation if he wanted to be fit for the T20 World Cup. So he went off and had that. So, I mean, he's going to be touch and go. I was really trying to find out about Joffre yesterday. Joffre's going to start bowling in September, potentially. All going well, he might make it back for the World T20, and that would be a massive boost for England.
Oh yeah.
Ollie Robinson in and ridden quite nicely by Markram, guides it down to a deep set backward point, and there's no run. There's Leachy down there. He's got a smile on his face. Might have a bit of work to do later in the day.
Hopefully not too much though. Get some
Hopefully
more
not too
wickets in the
much.
morning session.
Well, this is it. I mean, if we can get another 2 wickets reasonably quickly here, you can see it all crumbling. Which is pretty much what happened to England in the last test, let's be honest. Robinson in. Oh, wow, that cuts back on Markram. Sort of scoots over off one leg down to the leg side. And it cuts him just in front of his knackers, really, through to Folkes. It's come back quite a long way and followed him. Good length, got up, it's gone over probably leg stump.
That's a really good leave, that.
It is a really good leave. I mean, it's gone well over the stumps, but it's gone over Midland leg. It's good take by Folkes. Bit of wobble scene, hits and goes. It's good bowling by Ollie Robinson. It's another good leave. It goes over the top of off stump this time, left on length, good leave. And that ends the 20th over, 43 for 2. Back over to Jacob.
Mayank says, morning all, this test will be over tonight. And Mog is being a horrific pessimist and saying Joffre is capital letters never playing for England again. Give up the dream.
I can't give up that dream, man.
It's too good a dream.
It's too good a dream, yeah.
And then you start to think, as we always do, you start to think it's 4 years ahead and you go, oh, Joffre and Robinson and maybe Wood.
Well, it'd be nice to
a
have,
decent spinner in Australia, used well, captain properly. Oh, maybe.
Well, I don't know. How old is Joffre? I mean,
29 now, I think.
So he would be 34, 33. Yeah, if he keeps himself fit, he'll still be going. He looks like a fit man. Robinson's a similar age. He's 28, isn't he? So he'd be 32. Definitely.
I've got some good news. Joffre Archer is 27.
27. Nice.
So he'd only be 31.
Well, God, you know, fuck it. Can't they just put a massive metal rod in his back so it can never break and make it out of titanium or something? And just
It's his elbow that's the problem.
Well, now his elbow
Then he
seems to
just
be
had a back
sorted, and
problem,
then
didn't
he had a what's her name? Stress fracture. We have a change in the bowling attack. I'll give his jingle after this. He's in 3 slips. First ball is a loosener outside the off stump. It's the man with a headband.
Sweep the leg, Brody. Got the best headband around. Something has gotta keep her down. Got the best headband around. Your ego ain't gonna be kept down. Got the best headband around. Even though your hair is thinning now.
First ball is definitely a little bit of a loosener. There's an on Hayden, there's an off Hayden. Second ball on the back foot, Peterson punches it out to Stokes in the covers. There's 3 slips. It's cover. Presumably there's a long leg, someone out somewhere on the offside.
79 miles per hour from Broad, he's a bit stiff.
Yeah, he's a little bit stiff. He'll warm up.
Just needs to get that.
He didn't even. I don't think.
Body limbering up.
Well, he didn't do anything yesterday either. He batted, got 27. I don't think he bowled at the end of the day, did he? Because we opened with Robinson and Anderson.
And then a little bit of Leach.
And then a bit of Leach, exactly. And Robinson went bowled through. It was only 9 overs. Broad in. Oh, that's a decent ball though. Straight at off stump, well defended by Peterson. Just works it out into the mid-wicket area, gets himself a single, and gets off strike. Markram yet to score. He's on none off 6 deliveries. 44 for 2. Well, Peruki. He's always there. Somewhere in England. I kind of wonder sometimes how he's so alive. He's so corpulent. But he does manage. Got his glass of champagne. Terrible. Broad in. And left alone outside the off stump by Markram. Through to the keeper. No run. And yeah, Tim was berating Markram. Don't understand why he's in this side.
I'll look forward to that for the ball by ball then.
Yeah. He feels a bit. He's kind of like the South African Crawley. Why is he in the side? Why do they keep giving him chances?
Well, it's funny you mention that, Bear. Like I do talk a lot with South African fans. I'll let you deliver this ball first.
Broad. Oh my word! He's got an edge. He's out. That one's gone straight. Markram's played down the wrong line. Just tickled it. I thought he missed it, but clearly everyone's up. We haven't got the sound up, so we didn't hear anything. But it's gone through. Is Markram going to review that? No. No. Not this time. That one is definitely out, and we have to say goodbye to Aiden Markram. Well, Tim will be spitting.
No ball!
No ball!
No, not again. Not again.
Fucking hell.
I've just given it the big uns. I thought we'd just taken another wicket.
For crying out loud.
Everyone delete what you were writing on Twitter.
Yeah.
That South African fan.
Oh, he's a lucky boy today, Aiden Markram. Goodness me. Oh, it's
tight.
marginal as well.
Oh man, that is so marginal. Probably is.
There's nothing behind the line. Only on the
There
line.
is nothing behind the line. I think that's on the line. And the line is the umpires. We all know that. Don't worry about it. Go back, do it again. Once the umpires made a decision, you can't. It's not going to be reversed, is it?
No, there's nothing behind it.
Nah,
it's on the line, isn't it?
It's definitely on the line. I'd say that's an no-ball. I think you can just see a tiny fraction of the line behind his heel. I know you want it to be out, but it ain't. I want it to be out because that would have been money in the pot again, you see? God damn. Broad into... and Markram this time gets himself off the mark.
It's a nice shot.
Insult to injury, really.
Yeah, exactly. Very much insult to injury. Length ball angling into the pads, whipped sweetly by Markram down to the mid-wicket boundary, and he get himself 4 runs. 4 runs. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I see Tim. You popped in a little bit early.
Yeah.
You're about to have expletive-laden fit at Markram. He's got away with it, mate. He's going to get a ton. Broad in, and it's defended out into the covers, and there is no run. Can have a switch now, if you like.
Oh, we can do. It's up to you, Bear.
Yeah.
I don't mind taking the ball by ball.
Yeah, you take the ball by ball. Let's have a little switch as Tim has arrived.
Who's on the tweet?
Should be
Messers
Jez.
is supposed to be back. Messi, are you there? Just wait till he comes back.
Hello, Messers. Next tweet is Angelic Scooters 4 minutes ago.
Thank you.
See you all later.
Cheers, Bear.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, lads. I'll be taking over the ball by ball then. And first and foremost, Tim, great to have you on, Brew. How's your morning been so far?
All right, apart from the cricket.
Other than that.
Non-cricketing wise, absolutely fine. Cricketing wise, pretty appalling.
Yeah, it's not been the greatest of starts for South Africa, has it? Jez, welcome back as well. Pleasure to have you on for the socials.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting morning. I got to say this no ball thing. I think it's brilliant using the electronic technology to monitor the no balls. I just think there are so many bowlers who need some retraining. It's just crazy. Absolutely
It is.
Crazy.
See it far too often as we see Brendan McCullum in those lovely shades. Ollie Robinson coming into bowl at the start of the 22nd over. Angles this one into Peterson. He's gone rather far down the track. South Africa will sneak through for the single, and that brings up the 50 for the Proteas. Decent little shot there from Keegan Peterson. Tim, I have to ask you this. It's another no ball, just as we're talking about no balls as well, Jed. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Bring it on.
I mean, come on, England. Have to sort this. Make that 51 for 2. South Africa after that shot, and the no ball counts increases yet again. From an English perspective, let's have a look. Oh, it's a pretty big one as well, that from Ollie Robinson, isn't it?
He's bowled quite a few this test, and they're very really close.
Robinson into Markram this time, goes for the cover drive. That's intercepted by captain Ben Stokes. There'll be no run there. Yeah, it's really, really tough to see, to be honest, from an English perspective, isn't it? These constant no balls, and in particular the wicket of Markram, and then the very next delivery goes and hits a lovely shot off the pads. It hurts. I can't lie, it hurts.
Like the majority of bowlers, when I watch them in the nets, in some way along the line in the practice, are bowling no balls, and they're bowling them. Say they're bowling 5 overs, they're bowling 5 no balls.
Robinson into Markram this time, just shields that one out into the offside. Sneak through for another quick single. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it, Tim? I mean, is that something which could be looked at, I suppose, when it comes to these international teams, in terms of maybe, I don't know, training that in the nets? Because you do see it far too often, don't you?
They talk about, nets are all about rhythm. So all they're focusing about is the rhythm in their action. They're not worried about the other finer points. But the point, as you just made, if you practice their balls at the nets, you're going to bowl them in the match.
Exactly. Nonsensical. That's how I'd describe it, as Robinson angles this one in towards Keegan Peterson. Defends that out to the man in the covers for no run. Yeah, it's just frustrating for England. It really is. You're putting all that hard work, all the hard yards, and that Stuart Broad, well, it wasn't a dismissal, it was the phantom dismissal of Aiden Markram. It was marginal, but this is a game of fine margins, and unfortunately for England, that could be quite costly. Markram, as we all know, is a very dangerous cricketer indeed. He hasn't been doing great though, has he, Tim? I was going to make this point actually in the last in, averaging 21 since the start of last year, as that's quite a ferocious delivery fizzed in towards Keegan Peterson's hips.
Even worse, he's averaging 16 this year.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, it doesn't make for good reading, does it?
No.
I
have big GPL news. We've got 36 entries, so the GPL pot is up to $75 already. And we have another 58 minutes in which to get your entries in. And they range from 123 through to 333, so there's a pretty broad range.
Yeah, decent pot today, as Robinson comes into bowl around Markram's off stump. He just shoulders this behind to the keeper Ben Folkes for no run.
It would be typical of Markram if he made significant runs today. It would be just typical of him. Just when he's about to be dropped, just when his chances have been run out yet again, that everybody is calling for him to go, he makes 100. It would be prime Markram. He's very good at these timings.
Aiden Markram heritage will pick up that conversation in due course, Tim, as talking to the main man himself. He sneaks through for a quick single here to take South Africa up to a score of 54 for 2 at the end of the 22nd over. Before we do pick up that conversation about Markram, though, over to you on the socials, Messers. What are the people saying?
Thank you. Angelic Scooter says Wood is already 32, so I'd be very surprised to see him back in Australia for the next Ashes tour. Yes, I would too. Josie Oak says Pat Cummins had a lot of injuries and he came back. Bit rubbish though. I wouldn't be game to call Cummins rubbish in any circumstances. I think he's one of the world's best bowlers and smartest. Crypto Rocketeer says crazy that South Africa are in their second innings 44 for 2, over 200 behind, and it's only day 3. Yes, I was about to write 44 for 3. The pace of this match is amazing, isn't it? There's certainly no shortage of time to make the runs. It's just the capacity to make the runs that's the issue. And Jay says, Jacob, I literally had to frantically backspace my Markram comment. Fucking muppet. And Josie Oak says Markram will now score a century. Jay Grover says, oh no, now I'm going to have to try and read Tim's bookshelves. Oh, have you got your bookshelves behind? Oh, yes. There are no secrets. You come on here and you expose your life to everybody. Angelic Scooters, I think we're in a drinks break, which was why I've got so long. It says, so I take it from my timeline that the rugby was enjoyed by the South African watchers this morning. Ooh. Them's fighting words. Don't forget, it was the South Africans that beat the Kiwis in the rugby, and I was really pleased to see that. Jay Grover says, if Ian Botham is clever enough to only bowl one no ball over his entire test career, you're fucking done. Yeah, but then again, I bet if the TV monitoring had been there would have been more than one, Jay. Leah says, umpires should carry cattle prods to swiftly reward bowlers for bowling no balls. Yeah, that'd fix it pretty quick, I reckon.
Yeah,
Jay says, Aaron asked him, Markram isn't doing great. Oh lordy, don't take the bait, Tim. He's poking the cage.
Well, it is funny because I just wanted to talk about Markram because, Tim, as you know, I love my South African cricket. I'm very passionate about the Proteas. And there is a lot of conversation, isn't there, in the country at the moment, in particular with that middle order, as Mark Butcher takes us through a bit of a masterclass on the Sky coverage. Do you think his place is untenable in that South African side? And I suppose the other big question is, given the presence of Ryan Rickleton, could he be an option for the South Africans heading into the future?
Whatever Markram makes in this innings, whatever he makes, Rickleton has to play in the next test. I don't care if Markram makes 175. Whatever he makes in this test match, Markram in this format is dead in the water. Leave him to play white ball formats, fantastic. But in long-term future in Test cricket, there isn't one. Give Rickleton the chance. Scored runs in England, average of 77, in form. Yeah, definitely, without question for me.
Well, I would tend to agree, to be honest. 539 runs in 4 matches for Ryan Rickleton for Northamptonshire this summer. He's been electrifying for the East Midlands County. And Jez, I suppose I have to ask as well, would you agree with that? Do you think Aiden Markram's time in Test cricket is coming to an end?
Certainly nothing to suggest there's an incentive to keep him there. And I'm not up enough with the other batsmen to be able to say who'd do better. It's a bit like the problem with Crawley. I don't know enough about English openers to know who should replace him, but I'm very happy to take Tim's word as selector to put Rickleton in there in his place.
Well, there we go then. We shall have to wait and see. Will Mark Boucher take Tim's advice? I mean, he certainly should. I think Rickleton's a fantastic player, first class average exceeding 50 as well. He is remarkable.
Look, I get why they went it. I just don't think it was the right choice at all. And I said it at the time. I said Markram had to go. I said before the series began that fantastic to have him there as a backup. He might come off, but he should never have started the series.
No, that's fair enough, Tim. It's fair enough.
Actually, on the selection things, Angelic Scooters asked a pertinent question. So, who replaces Rassie at the Oval? That's assuming he's still injured.
That's a very good question. Broad coming in too. The man we're talking about, Aiden Markram, just defends this out into the offside. And that'll be cut away by backward point. Go on then, Tim, as our resident South African expert. Who comes in?
Kazondo. Look, the guy's had a very good season in South Africa. Similar average to Ryan Rickleton. He doesn't have the long-term numbers that Rickleton has, but in terms of recency, he has got the form, he has got the runs, and he would definitely be coming in for me, assuming Rassie isn't fit.
I'd agree with that, Tim. I do think they've got to give Kaya a little bit of a chance, and yeah, the next delivery here from Stuart Broad, very wide, bit of a nothing delivery to be honest, and unsurprisingly left there by Aiden Markram. But in terms of the long-term South African top order, I suppose, and the entire batting lineup, this is the other question. It's a pertinent one. Would you go with a 6-5 split or a 7-4? It's the big question, isn't it, with this current side?
Always 6-5. Even with our problems with our middle order, I would always go 6-5.
Broad in to Markram here, goes a lot straighter to Stuart Broad. That one is defended by Markram to Ollie Pope on the leg side for no run. Who would be your all-rounder then? Would it be Marco Janssen, or I tell you someone else who's in a bit of form? I'm seeing you nodding your head there, Tim, so I'm guessing it is Marco Janssen. But what about VR Mulder as well? Had a good season for Leicestershire, hasn't he?
Let's just calm down a little bit. It's a little bit like the talk with the previous situation. I'll come to you after this delivery.
Yeah, we'll have to pick up that conversation as Broad comes into Aiden Markram. That is edge behind, and he's gone. Please don't be a no ball. Please do not be a no ball. It's good. It is good. Stuart Broad has got the thumbs up. England have got their third wicket. Aiden Markram gone 6 from 18 deliveries. It's a sharp catch from Zach Crawley. And Aiden Markram, it does look as though the writing is on the wall for South Africa's number 4 for the time being. Unfortunately, we don't have anyone in the Gorilla studio to play the jingles today, but unless Tim or Jez, one of you two lads, wants to chime in with some angelic singing.
You really don't want that. But I thought the funniest thing about that is that Stuart Broad is so used to the celeb appeal. This time, the moment he got caught, he turned around to look at the umpire to see what the signal was. He wasn't going to appeal until he knew he hadn't bowled a no ball. Sorry, Tim.
Can we please use the F off jingle, please? That's how I feel about Markram at the moment.
Fuck off! Fuck off! Just fuck off!
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And there was me thinking of you as really mild-mannered, Tim.
You don't get that on Test Match Special. And here is the big question then that we were asking before. Will Rassie van der Dusen bat? Yes, he will. So I believe that Bear will bring out the jingle.
He closed his eyes only for a moment, and the ball was gone. All his innings pass before his eyes have opened. Dusen against spin. Rassie van der Dusen against spin.
Great jingle.
It is. It's a brilliant jingle. Awesome. And can I just say as well, I'm not sure if you two gents noticed this or anyone watching on YouTube, the way that Bear dashed in, almost superhero-like, to play the jingle at the end of that dismissal. An incredible dive. It was like he was trying to get the winning runs for the World Cup. But
and don't forget to get your next underbet in, Bear. Oh, he's doing it right now.
Speak of the devil.
And that's a reminder also to get your GPL picks in, because I think you'll find a lot of you already picked may have gone a bit high. That's my judgment anyhow.
Yeah, what was it before, Jez? You're saying like 110, 120? A lot of picks?
Well, the lowest pick, which is mine, is 123. I've picked 7 numbers all below 200. All the other picks are above 200, I think.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Stuart Broad trying to G up the crowd there. Yeah, he is.
They've only scored 31 so far today for the last 3 wickets, so that sort of gives an indication.
Here we go then. Stuart Broad to Rassie van der Dusen. Angled in to the off stump. That'll be no run. Well left by Rassie van der Dusen. That was a nice bit of showmanship and theatrics there from Stuart Broad, geeing up the Old Trafford crowd, getting the ripples of applause going around the ground. Jimmy Anderson with a bit of a wry smile. Nice gamesmanship there from the England bowlers, as we've come to expect over the years. He's doing it again. He's fired up, isn't he, Stuart Broad? It's even on a morning like this. And fair play to the Old Trafford crowd. They're getting behind him. Broad into van der Dusen. Very close. Is this an edge? No, it's not. Almost. Almost the payoff which Stuart Broad was looking out for. An excellent over for both England's veteran seam bowler and the 3 lines and a crown. As a whole, South Africa 54 for 3 at the end of the 23rd over. Over to you, Messers, on the socials.
Well, Mayank asked a very pertinent question. He said, why did Stuart Broad not bowl until after 20 overs? Is he hurt? I think only his feelings are hurt, and he's determined to prove something. I think he's manipulable in that regard. I really do. Light Roller says, welcome back, Tim. What did you think about the Springboks against the Wallabies? A very surprising result. It was a bit. Crypto Rocketeer says, nobody's getting 100 today. Don't worry, England fans. And Jay says, voiceover, and Tim took the bait. And Pirate Bradshaw is with us. He says, ahoy, old salts. Hello, Pirate. Welcome aboard.
Ooh. Goodness me, I thought that was a lot closer than it was. The ball actually trickled into the ground there from Keegan Peterson. I thought that was up in the air, unless that was just my computer playing up, but gone for a little bit of a celeb repair myself there. That is no run.
I'll come back on the rugby. Yeah, the Springboks were appalling, but so were the All Blacks. So we're feeling a little bit better about ourselves this morning.
Well, that was an outstanding result, wasn't it, for the Pumas? Brilliant.
The All Blacks lost
Argentina.
the Pumas.
Did they? Oh, yep. I didn't see that. That's fucking brilliant.
Oh, that's talking of things which aren't brilliant though. Ben Folkes has just let through some buys. That'll be 4 more runs to the South African total. Really loose delivery there from Ollie Robinson. Bit of a filthy delivery down the leg side. Folkes can't get there on this occasion. And that is 4 free runs for South Africa. Yeah, it was the first time that Argentina have ever beaten New Zealand in an international rugby match, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Great result.
So, yeah, we're feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, you would.
It's been a rough morning for South African sports fans, though, hasn't it? As Ollie Robinson comes in to Keegan Peterson. Nice bit of defence there from the South African number 3. That'll be no run into the offside.
I don't know if you saw the replay of that previous ball. It didn't bounce at all, that ball. It bounced twice before getting to Folkes, which is why he missed it. But this pitch is going to be interesting if they're there for long.
That's a great point, Messers. Very good point. Inconsistent bounce. If you're a South African fan, getting a little bit dicey, isn't it? Let's be honest. If some balls keep like, in particular from Jimmy Anderson.
Let's be honest. It's going to be over today. Let's get that out of the way.
Have some optimism, Tim. Come on.
No ways.
If this was England, we could be 58 for 3. I'd still think we could get 600. We'd be all out for 140, but I'll still have the optimism, still have the faith. You never know. 250 run partnership here as Ollie Robinson comes into Keegan Peterson. Short delivery aimed in at the grill of the South African number 3, who just pats it out into the leg side for a single. And talking, it's another no ball, for goodness sake, England.
Jesus.
Simply not good enough, this. Let's have a look. How big is it? Another massive no ball as well from Ollie Robinson.
That's crazy.
Oh, goodness me, that is... You still need to start making a tally of these.
The scorecard's showing that's only the 3rd no ball. It doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't. It feels like there's been about 10.
I was going to say, 3rd by Robinson, maybe.
As Robinson comes in to Rassie van Dusen, wraps him on the pads. I think that's going down leg size. There's a little bit of a muted appeal. Stuart Broad's having none of it as he applies his bodily fluids to the ball, which sounds quite weird out of context, but it's just his sweat.
It does.
He did step across quite a lot there, but you're right. I think it is still drifting down the leg side.
Well, let's have a look on that, Tim. Oh yeah, going well down, probably high as well, to be honest. Don't think there's much going for that appeal at all for Ollie Robinson. What do you make of the moustache as well from Ollie Robinson? It's a new look, isn't it? As he comes into bowl again, nice leave that from Rassie van Dusen. Good length ball in the off-stump channel for no run.
Not something I've noticed until you mentioned it, I have to be honest.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll grow it out, almost like a... Just trying to think who he'd look like.
Do a Merv Hughes.
Oh yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Big Merv moustache, that'd be fantastic.
Oh dear.
We need to bring that back. We need more Murph Hughes moustaches.
No,
Lockie
we do
Ferguson's
not.
got a lovely moustache.
And we need to get rid of fucking mullets as well.
Last ball of the over there from Ollie Robinson before we pick up the conversation about mullets. South Africa 60 for 3 at the end of the 24th over. Messers. Over to you on the socials.
Josie Oakes, you nailed Tim. He says Tim is the South African Hendo. In terms of the pessimism, I suspect. Jay Grover says, I've been missing some cracking stories today. Express journalists striking. Argentina beating New Zealand. I'm proper out of the comedic loop. Well, this is why you listen to Guerrilla Cricket, to find out what's the important stuff that's going on in the world, isn't it, Joe? Mayank says, Jack Leach has a great job. He bowls only a couple of overs to relieve the fast bowlers and bats at 11. No pressure at all.
I love Leachy though. Love Jack Leach. Great fella.
I think he. I mean, I'm not quite sure he's up to yet to Bear's claim of being the English Nathan Lyon, but yeah, he's not bad.
No, he's not, and he just needs backing. Stuart Broad on for yet another over here, getting the Old Trafford crowd going. I don't know why, because he hasn't really earned it on the back of that delivery. A little bit of a nothing one, to be honest, there from Stuart Broad. But he's geeing up the crowd here at Emirates Old Trafford. Let's have a look if it'll pay off. Coming into bowl now, it's a Keegan Peterson who's currently 10 not out from 28 balls. Broad comes in. Batted away there from Keegan Peterson, out into the offside for no run. What do you make of Keegan Peterson as well, Tim? I've been wanting to ask this because he is still very, very raw, isn't he, in terms of Test cricket, but he's got a lot of promise. Had that fantastic knock against India back over the winter. Do you think he is the long-term option for South Africans heading into the Test future?
I think he has the potential. Let's leave it there. I'm not sure he is, but he certainly has the potential. I think he has the all-round game. He has been a bit too loose in this series, but I'm not at all surprised because it's been quite difficult, particularly in the first innings of this test. I do think he has the game to be our number 3 for the next 5 or 6 years. But there is going to come a time when he is going to have to start producing significant runs. And the fact that he scored those 350s against India at the start of the year is giving him a bit of time.
It is indeed. Let's see if Broad will give him time. He won't. He angles this one in towards his pads. That's a nice bit of fielding, actually. I think that's Ollie Pope there.
Funny you should mention Pope, because I think their situations are not dissimilar in terms of the need to prove their capacity to stay at number 3.
That's a great point. That is a very good point. Although, the thing with Pope's got a couple of big scores as well, hasn't he? So, I suppose with a pair of them, yeah, it is all about staking that claim. But England won't want him to stake that claim today as Stuart Broad comes into bowl at South Africa's number 3. A little bit wide outside off the ball, keeping low yet again. Message, you mentioned that earlier with the ball from Ollie Robinson. Folks as well to just get some glove on that, really. That's a really worrying sign for South Africa. Look how low that's kept.
Yeah.
Crikey, that's at shin height, if that.
And the second bounce is well in front of folks.
What a pity England are not going to be batting last.
Well, it depends whose perspective you're looking for. If it's my perspective, I'm glad if we don't bowl again. As Broad comes in yet against Keegan Peterson, trying to size up South Africa's number 3 here. Angling it in to the pads yet again. That'll be no run. South Africa 60 for 3 at the end of the 25th over. Over to you, Messers.
Kay says, Aaron is trying to confuse, obstruct and deflect from his own egregious farce of his moustache. That's a bit mean, Jay.
No, I think that's a fair comment.
Mike says, how long until Crawley and even Lees are dropped? Is there no one else to open for England? It's interesting. I mean, Crawley to a certain extent has done what's needed to keep him in the Test team for the next Test by basically taking the shine off the ball, not scoring much, but hanging around for a long time, which may prove to be a very useful trait to have when they go to Pakistan as well. but Lees is also worried. But nobody seems to be united as to who else is really suitable to replace them either. That's the other problem.
It is, and there are quite a few options. England could go back to the likes of a Rory Burns or a Dom Sibley. You've got some new openers, I suppose, with the likes of Ben Compton, the Daniel Bell-Drummond from Kent, Keaton Jennings has had an excellent summer for Lancashire. So it's not as though England haven't got the options. It's just a case of who do we give the option to? Who do we replace the likes of Lees and Crawley with? And for the time being, McCullum and Stokes seem a little bit hesitant to chop and change things. But talking of change, there is a change of bowling now for England as the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jack Leach, Mr. One Out, comes on to bowl from the James Anderson end, with South Africa still trailing by 204 runs. Again, there's no one in the studio for Jack Leach's jingle, so for the time being, we're just going to have to make do without. But Leach coming in.
It's time to move on from his one not out.
What should we start talking about then, Messers? What about the 92
the
against
wickets,
Ireland?
the fact that he's the highest wicket taker for England this series, this summer, or was before the start of this test, is quite noticeable, really.
Talking of things that are noticeable as well, you got the Jack Leach fan army at Old Trafford today. Not sure if either of you two saw that, the group of 4 lads with the Jack Leach mask. That was quite fantastic, and in fairness, Leach has got off to a decent start here. 2 balls and a good length, both dot balls. Rassie van der Dusen not going for anything too expansive. Unsurprisingly, again, ducks down into his forward defence here and plays that out back to Jack Leach for no run. England have got Ollie Pope at short leg, which is nice. I like to see that aggressive captaincy from Ben Stokes, and I think the captain himself is positioned nicely at first slip. Oh, no, it's Joe Root at first slip, sorry. As Van der Dusen yet again crouches down into his forward defence. This is the thing that I've noticed actually. Between Ben Stokes and Joe Root as a captain, it seems as though Ben Stokes has a lot more faith in Jack Leach. I'm not sure if you two would agree with that, but in terms of the field placements, with Root it was a case of putting men down the boundary. Funnily enough, that goes out to Johnny Bairstow, out on the offside for a single, but it felt like they were very tentative with Jack Leach beforehand, whereas Stokes has seemed to back his spinner, hasn't he?
Yes, no.
Roots is, this approach is far more, shall we say, proactive rather than reactive, which is what Joe was doing. It certainly is very noticeable.
It is. Leach coming into Peterson for the final ball of the 26th over. That is defended by South Africa's number 3 for no run. The Proteas 61 for 3. Over to you on the socials. Messages.
Jay says he's only messing with you, Aaron. You're very Errol Flynn with a touch of Rory Burns.
Oh, God. I'm blushing.
Sure I want to be compared with Rory Burns all that much. And given Errol Flynn's carryings on, I'm not so sure about that either, to be honest. Warren says a rope loop on the other side of the popping crease attached to a bent palm tree. No ball, and the bowler is strung up by the ankle. That'll stop no balls. Yeah, the palm tree might stop a few balls coming back that way as well, Warren. You may need to put some more thought into that one. You really might.
It's the thought that counts, though.
Yeah.
Stuart Broad now comes in to bowl to Rassie van der Dusen. 2 slips in for the English seamer. I don't know why Stuart Broad's reacted like that. It's a ball which is on a 5th stump length, or line even. It's nowhere near. No. And he's just reacted as though it's missed off stump by about an inch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Jaffa.
Oh, dear.
Mind games.
Yeah. Matthew Dixon on YouTube says, so 2 tests, both finish in 3 days, third one to be rained out.
Oh, let's hope not. We need a decider for this series as Broad comes into Van der Dusen, bowls it in on a good length. That is defended away by RVD for no run. I think this is actually our last over, gents, although
it is.
I say that and yet the cavalry don't seem to have turned up yet. We're meant to be getting replaced by Jacob, Hendo and Bear, but I don't believe they're here just yet. But yeah, this will be the last of our stints for the time being until after lunch, when in fact it's us 3 again in the afternoon session. That'll be good. The 3 Musketeers reuniting as Broad bangs his short for Van der Dusen, who pulls that away nicely for 4 more runs. Bear, are we there on the jingles?
Yeah.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
Brilliant, just looking back on that shot from Van der Dusen. Decent control there, actually. From the Proteas number 5. 1 bounce over the rope for 4 more runs. Some valuable runs there for South Africa, but at this stage, still trailing by 199 runs. This has to be the partnership, doesn't it, Tim? Because Kyle's he's a very good option. He's a good prospect, but again, after Verena, you're into the all-rounders and the tail as Broad comes into bowl, hits Van der Dusen, goes for the drive. Again, Broad reacts as though he's just clipped the outside edge and it's gone short of first slip, which it hasn't.
Yeah,
Before I finish,
you're right.
just want to remind people they've got 30 minutes to get in their GPL picks. The pot's at £75, and you really do need to consider some lower choices than those you've already made, is my advice.
You're right, Aaron. This is the partnership, and also the fact that Rassi is the one guy who I have 100% faith in that he won't give his wicket away. He might get out to a good ball, and you know that's life, but he won't give it away, like some of them have.
I wonder who that could be aimed at, Tim.
Basically, the entire batting lineup from 1 to 11.
Yeah, it's not been an ideal morning, has it, for the Proteas, unfortunately. This will be our last delivery. The 3 Musketeers will be back in the afternoon session, as we will be passing over to Bear, Hendo, and I believe Jacob. Yes, it is. Jacob will be doing the ball by ball for the 27th over onward. Stuart Broad then, can we get a wicket on the last ball of our spell, gents? Broad into Van der Dusen. Unfortunately not. That is batted away into the leg side for no run. South Africa 65 for 3. Over then to our changes.
Thanks very much.
you, Aaron.
Oh, are you in? Are you in, Jacob? Are you there?
I am in.
You
I'm
are
very
in.
much in. I am in.
You are definitely in. You are in so many ways. It's hard to describe. Now, where were we up
dear.
to on? How many tweets back do I need to go?
You don't. The very most recent one from Jay. Very good point is the next one.
Okay. Very good point made by Aaron, says Jay. I think Stokes just gives more faith in his players as a whole. No need to lower the tone about Errol Flynn's proclivities. Jeremy, don't sully one of my rare compliments. This is talking about... I didn't notice that Aaron had some form of moustache.
Well, in comes Leach, and that's played off the back foot into the offside by Peterson. Quite nicely, actually, and it will be cut off, so there won't be a run, but it was quite a nice shot.
Nice Jack Leach masks in the crowd there. I like that he's become a cult figure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As he's in again, that's drifted a bit down the leg side and just turned onto leg stump and played off the pad. The short mid wicket.
We were discussing in the green room who might be made man of the match should England continue to dominate and win this game.
That's floated and defended firmly by Peterson, propping forward, big stride, smothering the spin.
We thought probably Stokes or Folkes, but we decided on Folkes basically because he hasn't had one before. But I'll come back to that.
Here comes Leach. Shorter. Cut hard, backward of square. The man has been beaten at point, but he will run back before it gets to the boundary, round about third man. I think that was a little outside edgy from Peterson.
It was a bit aerial for a while.
I don't think he got that cleanly, did he?
Between the slip and the sort of backward point, and he's not quite got that cleanly, but it was a short ball from Leach, and probably could have done with being put away, but it got a bit of extra bounce at the last minute.
Yeah, it's the bounce that's been the thing here, isn't it? With the spinners. The old one has really climbed.
Here comes Leach again. That's Fuller, and nicely played by Peterson, but a tricky delivery from Jack Leach. A little slower, flighted, and it's just on that good full length. And not far away from beating the outside edge of the bat, and there's a lot of the stump showing there. And in comes Leach for the final ball. That's shorter, played off the back foot, straight out to a short cover. And I think Was that a maiden over? I think it was.
No, because he got a couple of runs down to third man, didn't he?
Yes, of course he did. I'm completely blind.
Don't worry
so
about
long
it.
ago.
Don't worry.
I was going to say about the man of the match. Surely it has to go to Jack Leach for that reverse sweep through extra cover yesterday.
Well, yes.
I mean, that was only what one bounce for. That was, I mean, on its own, that was worth the admission money.
Yeah, it was quite funny, that.
Tremendous. Leah says, follow on avoided. Oh, wait. Yeah. So, how many behind are South Africa now?
199, I think.
199. Okay, so just gone past the 200 mark. Yeah, makes sense.
That's why she sent that tweet in.
Indeed. That's what I was checking.
Get that brain working.
Broad's at the top of his mark. Headband on. Ball in the fingers, placed as precisely as ever. In he comes. Oh, that's an outside edge, and it's gone past the man at second slip. It went down. Van der Dussen not hanging his bat, just putting it down limply, and it's taken the outside edge, gone straight down, and beaten the second slip, and run away to the boundary at third man for one of these.
Has there been
nice ball from Broad.
If there'd been third slip, that would probably have just been short of him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Picks it up on the half volley.
It was well played.
There's not a third slip with Stokes' tendency for attacking captaincy and a relatively new batsman at the crease. But there's a sort of backward point short third man type fielder as that goes out into the leg side and is retrieved by what I think is the on Hayden fielder.
You see how he took his hand off the bat there? I don't think he's comfortable at all. I mean, I hate to say this, but this is professional sport. You've got to bowl short and attack the hands.
Yeah, that's said. I mean, although there is bounce for the spinner from time to time, there's not a lot of bounce for the seamers. It's actually grubbing through to.
Well, that's even more of a reason to bowl short, isn't it?
Well,
get him on the back foot, get one to scoot along.
Well, although he did actually take the bottom hand off it then, which is fairly even. It's his top hand that's hurt.
Yeah.
Got green tape around the finger.
Yeah, we had a metal splint.
That's quite handy. It tells you which one to aim for.
What's that?
Yeah, it's another big target. Here. And they've brought in a short fielder, I think. Is that Ollie Pope? Yes, he's even closer on Hayden, and that's defended by Van der Dussen, who then does take his top hand off the bat. You're right there, he doesn't look comfortable.
I'm afraid to say that I think I've swallowed too much Ineos.
That teacher.
That's horrible. That's really horrible. Oh.
Oh dear.
Dangerous game, this commentating.
So much Ineos, you're practically a Mercedes F1 team.
God.
As in comes Broad, wide, short, left.
That's horrible.
Too wide. It was the drag really wide. Not a wide though, but it was well, good foot or two outside off stump.
They've all gone very quiet on the Twitter sphere. Maybe you're all thinking about the GPL and adapting your guesses. You've got about 20 minutes to do so.
If you listen carefully, you can hear the hum of consideration and the cogs turning across the land. Here comes Broad. Oh, that's nipped back in. And again, Van der Dussen takes a hand off the bat. He's played that out into the leg side, and a fielder will give chase. They'll just get a single jog through. But again, Van der Dussen looking uncomfortable. He went to carry the bat in one hand and switched it. He took the hand off the bat, having played that slightly awkwardly into the leg side. He's not happy at the moment, and the third slip has come in. There's still that backward point, also a sort of short-ish point, a wide mid-off, not quite an extra cover fielder.
Yeah, they use that quite a lot now.
As in is Broad, fended out to that short point, along the ground though, and that's the end of the over. 29 done, 72 for 3.
I've swapped some of the microphones now because I've been inhaling far too much Ineos. Anyone got any sort of medical opinion on this? It made my throat really scratchy. Anyway, the light roller says, winning at life equals wearing a Jack Leach mask with a Hawaiian shirt whilst drinking beer at the cricket. I am just a bit jealous. Yes, that is probably living the dream, isn't it?
Nah, there's nothing wrong with it. active ingredients ethanol.
Is that good? It's
No,
basically
pure
alcohol, isn't it?
alcohol. Yeah.
Oh, pure alcohol.
Yeah.
So I'll be even more pissed than you, Bear.
Well,
Before long.
Being the average length here bowled by England seamers, and they're almost identical.
It's brilliant, isn't it, that?
They're in the middle of the good length. Broad's been the fullest slightly, Robinson slightly the shortest. You might, if you're being hypercritical, ask them to go, half a foot fuller maybe, just on that middle line. But the length is clearly working for them on this pitch, as Van der Dussen defends Leach, the short leg fielder, no run. John Lewis we see there, taking his nose.
It's always good, isn't it? Always good how they do a close-up of you just about as you're about to pick your nose. It suggests to me that people pick their noses a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I think they do.
That almost sneaks through, but Van der Dussen's got the bet down on it, and it sort of bottom edged through his bat onto his back pad and trickled out into the offside. Has Brendan McCullum brought out the sort of diktat, which when England are doing badly, all the coaches have got to look super relaxed, and when they're doing well, they always look slightly concerned? As that's played back by Van der Dussen into the leg side, no run.
I want another one before lunch.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Another one before lunch. I don't really mind. I'm not going to make it to Wimbledon Barrow now, so I'm quite happy if it goes on.
You're a season ticket holder, aren't you?
No, I don't. I haven't bothered buying a season ticket. I've
Can
only
you walk
been
in
once.
at half time?
I haven't tried the new ground, I have to say.
That's too full by Leach, but Van der Dussen can only find the short mid-wicket fielder for no run. I must admit, I have a very vested interest because if this game finishes today, I can take all of tomorrow to work on my dissertation rather than commentating and watching cricket.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think I'd give up the dissertation personally.
That's what I was considering. That's just on the inside edge of Van der Dussen's bat. He's lucky that hasn't trickled onto the pad, because the short leg fielder was there and did recover it, but it's gone along the ground to him. If that had looped up off the pad, he would have been in big trouble, as Leach got some very nice shape on that.
Yeah, he's getting a bit of a dip, isn't he? He's getting a bit more revs on it, it would appear, than perhaps earlier in the year.
Well, I just think that Stokes gives him his head and gives him confidence.
One ball left. In it comes, defended by Van der Dussen. Very solidly, that, actually, and a little slower for the end of the over. Still 72 for 3. That one was an 8, I believe.
A couple of tweets. Russie and Keegan at Manchester like VVS and Raoul at Calcutta, says Leah. Jago says, my medical opinion is that Hendo is going to die and there's nothing he can do about it. He will rage against the dying of the light. Mine, so fair dues. Next task, identify the light. The light roller says, welcome back, Gorilla Hendo. He was referring to a tweet in which he was saying that I was welcome to the possums. And one more from Jago, who's just snuck one in. So one thing to cheer Hendo up, I just bought his book this morning. I'm sure the 0.01p residuals will keep him warm at night. Probably won't, because basically I've been remaindered now. My books have been remaindered, so I don't make anything from them at all now. So not even 0.01p. It is a cruel way to treat a man who's been writing since 2004.
In comes Broad, and that's off the back foot by Peterson out to that wide mid-off fielder, and they get through for a single. Hendo will rage against the dying of the light roller.
Certainly would. Very good, very good. GC Radio Naked Fun Porn Bot says Hendo has had an ethanol angry dragon. Click here. Ooh, sounds like chasing the dragon, doesn't it? To the old. Is that for
the smackheads?
Smackheads, yeah.
As Broad turns at the top of his mark, we see a man wistfully waving a South African flag in the crowd. I think that's a bit hopeful. That keeps low, and Van der Dussen gets bat down on it. It probably wasn't going on to hit the stump. It's probably just missing off stump, but Van der Dussen had to react quickly and get the bat down quite firmly on that, as it really did scuttle along.
Old File at Play says, you can pick your nose, you can pick your friends, but you cannot pick your friend's nose.
That's very true. I wouldn't do that.
Don't Google dragon in the sexual context, says Jay as well. Okay, I certainly won't. I might do it at lunchtime, to be honest.
Dragon sex.
I don't want to know about dragon sex. I know enough about octopus sex, thanks to Jay. I don't want to know about any other creatures.
I feel I've missed large chunks of conversation.
Well, you have.
Context.
I mean, you've missed about 11 years of it, to be honest.
Probably.
It wouldn't have been suitable for you if you'd been listening to it in 2010.
In comes Broad, left alone by Van Der and that was too wide, and with absolutely no need to play at it, especially 15 minutes before lunch with your team 73-3 and still in excess of 180 behind.
Yeah. I need a wicket now for my next bet.
Oh, that's what it is. That's why you're fidgety.
Yeah, I've got half a run to play with.
Half a run. Don't forget the GPL. Last call for the GPL. Get involved.
We've
Get
got
involved.
16 minutes.
16 minutes. So it may not be the last call. I might do it again.
In comes Broad, Watt started back, and Van Der has played it nicely into the leg side, but has found the mid-wicket fielder again. There will be no run. The Bears' half-run headroom remains intact.
Yeah.
It's always something
It's
to entertain us on this programme.
If Broad could produce another no-ball wicket now, that would be hilarious.
Oh, that would be.
That would have me being very angry.
That would be almost as funny as seeing Liverpool lose to Bournemouth today.
Oh, fuck that.
Have they lost to Bournemouth, or are they going?
No. I was just hoping, because they haven't won a game yet this season, have they?
No.
As in Broad, Van Der jams the bat down outside our stump. No run. I mean, technically, you can take the logic that Brentwood heavily beat Man United, and Man United narrowly beat Liverpool. So Brentwood
in Essex. I don't think they've got a professional team.
Brentford. Sorry. Brentford are heavily better than Liverpool.
Yeah, but we're playing Bournemouth.
So you've got it wrong on all counts, I'm afraid, Jacob.
I don't understand that game.
What, football?
Yes.
Oh, really?
That silly game.
That silly game involving balls.
Cricket is much more sensible.
I agree.
As in comes Broad, driven by Van Der but he's taken the hand off the bat. It wasn't a full-blooded shot. He's really just placed the bat and taken a hand off, and it's gone to mid-on for no run. If he'd followed through, he might have got 4 for it.
So
Under the over, by the way, 73 for 3.
How many people have we got on the GPL?
36.
36. That's good going. Well done, guys. People, things you expect to hear on Gorilla Cricket 371: ethanol hooch, Jack Leach masks, and the life choice that is being a gorilla against academic achievement. Thanks for that, Peter Ward. Jago says, my attempts to cheer Hendo up failed miserably. In for a penny, in for a pound. I still get residuals from porn games sold in the UAE. This is why I can afford shower curtains. Maybe there is something in this octopus porn. Maybe I should get involved in that. I mean, it's probably more interesting than sort of subbing the quotes of some illiterate manager, isn't it? Which is basically what I do most of the time.
Something like that.
Yeah. So you could be right. This partnership's worth 19. Whoa! It's building. Joe Root's back.
Joe Root is.
Shall I find my jingle?
Play his jingle.
Okay.
Has he had a haircut since he was last on?
His voice is high-pitched and ginger hair like a pick, but no Simuranzi has hit.
And it's a full... what a way for Bear to lose his bet. It's a full toss. And Peterson's driven it pretty nicely, actually, past the wide mid-off fielder to about where a normal mid-off would have been, and it's gone straight to full.
Rooty just threw me under the bus.
You can see what he was trying to do there. He was trying to get it up, get some loot. Does it a bit better then, but again, it's driven heavily, but straight to the fielder this time. No run.
Poor Jack Leach at mid-off. He's thinking, why do I have to run after this crap?
And then in comes Root again, wider, and Peterson comes down the pitch, and he's driven that nicely, actually. It's gone out towards the boundary. It will be stopped by young Johnny Bairstow, and they'll get through for 2, I think.
Yeah,
so a nice shot from Peterson, and the clapping, I think that's for Johnny Bairstow.
That was quite nice by Root, though. He saw him running at him, he threw it out wide. Just didn't do anything with it.
No, he still played it well, didn't he?
Yeah.
I heard you talking about Tim talking about Peterson and his potential. Break off.
In comes Root, full into the leg side this time, as it was straighter, mid-wicket is there, no run.
I've got a feeling that Peterson might be... I like Peterson, but I've got a feeling he might be one of those players who looks good but gets out. despite looking good. A kind of James Vince, if you like. Plays some nice shots, but
Gets 27.
Gets 27 and just can't go on.
Root's gone back to his usual tactic of right-handers of going round the wicket to the right-hander. He likes to push it across, bring the slip into play and get a little bit of turn back in on a good pitch. As round the wicket he comes with a slip, a leg slip, a short leg, and again almost kind of works immediately as Peterson falls over on that one a bit. He does get the shot away, but for no run. This is what Root likes to do. He likes to loop the ball. He's got that quite low arm action. He can sling the ball across the batsman, the right-handed batsman, who then can edge it to slip, or it can bite and turn back into the pads. As that's looped and flipped into the leg side, there is a fielder deep at the backward square leg, and they'll get through for a single, and that will end Root's over. It'll end this over 80 for 3.
The tweets are flowing in. Leah says, I agree with Jacob, football is for plebs. The Light Roll says, in contrast to England's run rate at 4.2 yesterday, Safa's are at 2.4. Mayank says, United winning at Southampton and Liverpool losing at Bournemouth would make my entire week. Warren says, maybe Liverpool can beat Bournemouth to help Jacob out with those teams. Leah comes back and says, yeah, tentacle porn is alright, horribly unhygienic fandom though. And Mog says, maybe too personal a question, Bear, but how were the GCSE results? They were good, weren't they?
Oh, they were very good. My daughter got 4 9s, 3 8s and 2 7s.
When did they start being numbers? I'm sure that GCSEs were always grades.
I can tell you precisely. They started being numbers 2 or 3 years after I took them, so that'd be 2017 or 18.
Oh, okay.
As Peterson defends Leach, spin from both ends.
Spin twins.
And he defends Leach from the leg side. Yeah, I think it was 2019, 3 years after I took GCSE, just as I took my A level.
So you got grades rather than numbers, did you?
I did. I did.
Did you have A double stars in your day?
Sorry, 1 second. As Peterson defends off the back foot. What was that there?
Did you have A double stars? Because I mean, this is what I don't get. I mean, we had
we had
ABC.
A stars and A.
Yeah, now it's A double. Basically, a 9 is an A double star, an 8 is an A star, and a 7 is an A.
Madness.
It
as
is.
Leach twirling the ball in his fingers. And that's little edgy past the slip and to backward point. No run. I got 5 A stars and 5 A's, and I got shouted at for not doing well enough by my mother.
Really? That's a bit mean. That is very mean.
Yeah.
She's evil.
She's Jewish, Hender.
Well, there you go.
Peterson defends off the back foot. That's what it was. It's the Jewish mother.
Right, okay.
No, it wasn't good enough, you know. Should have got 10 A stars. That was, in fairness, apparently what I was predicted. But future predictions, as we found out over the last couple of years, are always rubbish.
Yeah.
As Peterson defends off the back foot, no run.
On that basis, how does she sort of accommodate you working for the Sun?
Oh, she's very proud.
Oh, right, okay.
It's an actual newspaper, Hendo. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one it is.
Well, yeah, true.
Oh, as that's nicely shaped by Leach and defended by Peterson, smothering the spin. End of the over. 80-3.
Jago says, I opened the window for you, Hendo. You closed it. That's I passed on the tentacle porn at first offering, but maybe I can just get back in there. However, it really isn't interesting. It's just sub-editing, but with bad writing in several different languages at once. What makes you think the Times is any different? GC Radio Naked Fun Pornbot says, push the boat out, Gorilla Hendo. Tantric tentacle porn. Obligatory fuck off, Jacob, you whippersnapper, from Jay Grover. Bears Cubs know to write their names on the top of the exam paper, says Warren. That is the most Jewish mother thing I've ever heard, says Jay. And when my brother did his final year of high school, his score was 21 out of 100, which was still a pass, says Mog. What?
Wow.
Wow.
How did that happen?
Goodness me. I never expected you to have siblings, Mog. I thought you were just a one-off.
Just a Mog.
Just a Mog.
Very special Mog.
Indeed.
As Roots round the wicket to Van der Dussen, who's opened up his stance slightly and then closes it off to play it into the leg side. He looks a bit sort of, not as extreme, but reminiscences of a right-handed Fawad Alam because of the angle of Root. He's just opening that front foot a little bit and then bringing it in.
Ooh.
to play straight, and that's pushed across him more and defended. I think Root's now thinking, well, if he's going to open up like that, if I push it across him, he might play across it and edge it to slip.
I think he's trying to play with the softest hands possible because everything hurts.
Yeah.
As that front foot comes in again, and it's defended out into the leg side. Stokes was immediately and rapidly gesturing at someone, saying either come up or bring something on. I think they may be getting more protective equipment on, possibly, to get more men around the bat. An interesting ploy from Van der Dussen, to this wide stance which he starts with, just opening out, and then he closes off immediately. So his trigger movement is closing off. And so if the ball is straight and turns a bit back in, he's plumb LBW anyway.
Yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable, does he? I mean, he's doing his bit for his team.
They were bringing the fine leg fielder up to about halfway. Root's gone back over the wicket and has been greeted after floating one up wide by Van der Dussen, brutally crashing him through the extra cover region for 4.
It's me, Sanshi. It's me, Sanshi.
It's not really
He's
working.
done well there.
Is this?
No, it's the ball. The ball was poor and it deserved what it got, but it was well played for a man who's in
Pain.
probably in agonising pain.
Well,
yeah.
he's probably hopped up to the eyeballs on painkillers. but-
True, yes.
Just pushed his hands through that and slammed it away to the boundary.
Feeling quite mellow, I'd imagine.
That's straighter and defended, and again Van der Dussen, after defending, takes his top hand off the bat, presumably to dissipate some of the vibration.
Mind, if you time it off the middle, the vibration shouldn't be too much, should it?
Oh, as that's skipped in towards Van der Dussen's pads and he's defended off the back.
Toe end one, though. Oof.
You'd think he's holding it with just sort of 3 or 4 fingers, like 3 fingers like that.
He's holding it together. 6 minutes to go to lunch. Leah says she would immediately disown any child of hers that went to the scum. Jay Grover says, I thought Mog was birthed from an egg on a space Hulk. Absolutely right. Mogs, like all cats, do not actually have siblings. They have cohabitating rivals. Cohabiting. That's from Messi Jez. Peter Ward says, wouldn't you target Van der Dussen's hand by bowling just back of a length? Which I think is basically
what I said.
Bear was saying. Grand Theft Auto says, missed you guys. I am red wine drunk at 1 p.m. on a bank holiday, about to make an omelette. I love root bowling. It's like Picasso playing campfire guitar.
That's about right.
In comes Leach. That's fallen, floated up, and I think that was off the pad, maybe?
I think so, it was off the pad.
Straight up. And there's no one on the offside there to catch it anyway. But
Mog's creation myth says, I was decanted from a vat. It's true. Also, it was all about participation, aka bullshit.
As in comes Leach again. Floated again. Oh, that's a leading edge by Peterson. But again, no one. It's just dropped very short of a fielder.
He can pad that away because it's pitching outside leg, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. As in comes Leach again. That's a bit straighter and defended off the back foot.
That's an ugly shot.
I do think these batsmen are going back too much to the spinners, especially Leach.
That bounce though, Hendo. I mean, if you play forward too much, you might get caught out by it.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's what's worrying them, but I'm not sure the way they're playing is helping.
As he's gone forward to that one, and that's a nice diving stop from the fielder. It was a good drive from Peterson, and I can't see who's there at short cover, but they've soared, leaping through the air like a salmon.
I mean, Leach has gone for 6 in 7.4. It's a good
It's
start.
good to see, isn't it? It's good to see.
Yeah, he's got control. He's got an attacking field.
He's got sort of 2 short extra covers, hasn't he?
Yeah.
More or
I
less.
really liked seeing the other day when, yesterday I think, last evening. Oh, that's a big appeal from folks down the leg side. I think it's probably just come off the pad. It's been fired down the leg side and possibly clipped the pad on the way through. Optimistic from folks.
Yeah, a little shake of the head.
I liked seeing last evening the when Leach he must have had 5 or 6 men round the bat for that final over. That was nice.
Yes.
Not 5 or 6 men on the boundary. As that played straight by Peterson. End of the over, 84-4-3. One more over in
let's get some more tweets in. Leah says, I don't know what that is. A horrible
It's an alien.
It's an alien and says, here's my childhood pick. Is that meant to be of Mog or is that meant to be of you? The light roller says, perhaps you could do better. Comment was aimed at him for the dubious employer choice. Mums know more than you think. Mine was blissfully unaware of me doing any exams. Mog was born from mead, invested with the spirit of the beehive, says Jay. And Mog says, oh my god, it's the BBL draft tomorrow night in Capitals. So fucking excited.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's true, is it?
I don't think so. I think there may be a touch of cynicism there.
Root's gone back round the wicket and the picture froze as that happened, but somehow it's gone directly behind the keeper for byes. I think that may have turned down the leg side and like you missed it.
Yeah, it must have done.
Yeah.
Ball went through to the keeper. Then somehow let it through, straight through the keeper, went through the keeper, gone through the keeper.
That's just lost Ben Folkes' Man of the Match award.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Round the wicket again to Van Dusen comes Root. Van Dusen poses off again and that's close to the pads, but he's got the bat on it. Wisden have published Ben Stokes' averages as England Test captain in his 5 matches so far. He's averaging 45 with the bat and 25 with the ball. Not bad. As that's defended straight by Van Dusen.
Do a better batting average, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that 100's helped. I mean, I think he was averaging 37, which there was a point made in an article the other day that it's not bad, but it's not great. Yeah, and
45's a pretty good average though, and 25 with the
45
ball,
you
so.
take.
As again, Van Dusen gets the bat across that one as it spears in towards his pad, probably pitching just outside leg stump anyway.
Indeed. There was a man with a bow tie on getting ready for his lunch.
And a carrot. a woman dressed as a carrot.
A woman as a carrot. Maybe he's going to eat it.
Don't be disgusting, Henry.
Sorry, I do apologise. The porn bottle will be on me
The
anyway.
porn bottle will be on it in a flash as
Indeed.
that's defended by Van Dusen for no run.
Is it the final ball before lunch? I think it is.
Yes, my clock reads 1:01, so in comes Root, floating it up. Van Dusen defends. No doubt umpire Gaffney will just tap the bails off. And Van Dusen looks like he wants to go for lunch. Yep, bat tucked under the arm, off they go. And that's lunch with South Africa trailing England by 176. They're 88 for 3. And well, can England wrap it up today?
I think they've just put a little bit of a fly in the ointment here, South Africa. I think they've batted quite well in the last half an hour, 40 minutes. Obviously, I guess Anderson and Robinson will get another go straight after lunch. Only 65 runs, but there isn't much to come. I guess these are the two that have got to do most of the work, and you've got Verena to a certain extent, and then you've got Harmer and
Kagiso.
Oh no, I was going Kagiso, but also Maharaj as well, who can play some shots. But we shall see. I'll just bring you a final couple of tweets, and then we will have a break. Angelic Scootus on the same subject as Mog on the last tweet says, so in lieu of cricket tomorrow, I take it you'll be commentating on the Big Bash League overseas player draft then?
No.
Otherwise known as desperation after the horse has bolted. That's with a capital B and a U as in Trent Bolt. GC Radio Naked Fun Porn Bot says, Van Dusen doing 2-finger cul-de-sac. Click here. What is it? I'll have to look that up off air. Calm down, says the light roller. I'm not sure that's two. Maybe it's Mog. Oh, it's Mog getting excited about the BBL. That's it. Hervé went for 25. Elgar for 11. Markram for 6. The last wicket went down at 54, so they've added 34 for the 4th wicket so far. Anderson 1 for 15. Robinson 1 for 26. Broad 1 for 16. Leach and Root 13 overs between them. 22 runs. Not a wicket so far. So it's still all to do for South Africa. They would have preferred to have had someone like Elgar out there in the middle, but he went pretty early. Beautiful ball from Jimmy Anderson. Beautiful couple of balls from Jimmy Anderson that did his head in somewhat. And on that note, is there more dice cricket?
We're gonna get to the denouement of the final.
Okay. Dice cricket, award-winning, didn't win an award.
Should have won.
Should have won an award-winning commentary from Lockdown 2020.
Indeed. Enjoy. 8 for 31 or something, wasn't it?
34.
Right.
You feel the earth move under your feet when twinkles tumbling down. You feel the stand
well.
Yeah,
What a
8 for
performance.
34, including I think 4 in 4 balls.
He did. He got rid of Brearley, Ali, Youssef, Sterling, Botham, Bonner, Gillespie and Hendrick to absolutely steamroller the Beardy boys. At least the Specs are putting up a little bit more of a fight, but can Lightning Leverock strike twice? Let us find out. And not on this occasion, because who's facing?
Dick Young.
Dick Young has worked this off his legs. Ranatunga pulls it up short of that deep mid-wicket boundary, and they are able to take 3. In again comes Leverock, and MJK Smith this time guides it beautifully, leans into the most glorious cover drive. It's between Cosgrove and Hughes, and although that's a formidable barrier, it's not formidable enough, and it's 4 more.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
100 came up with that 3, by the way. It's 106 for 5 now.
In comes Big Dwayne. Oh, and again, MJK Smith, same ball, same result, 4 more.
2 + 2 is on man.
In he comes, and this one, MJK Smith just steers between Patel and Hughes. Patel at cover, Hughes Patel at point, Hughes at cover, and Patel it is who can just jog around and casually throw the ball back, and it's 2 runs. Leverock again. He comes, and this one is guided again. It's turned around down to Ian Austin at long leg. They will take fairly comfortable 3. You have a feeling that if they'd really bothered to put a shift on, they could have turned that into 4, because Ian Austin was not moving quickly. However, there's a big shout. Hendo's arm goes up. He looked pretty cast iron to me, and I'm afraid the 3 means that Dick Young, who was going very nicely, has played around the straight one, didn't do much except knock back his middle stump. It's another nail. I mean, another stump knocked over, another wicket down, another nail in the bespectacled coffin.
What's a bespectacled coffin?
I think in Nigeria they sometimes make coffins in the shape of objects, so you can have something in the shape of a glasses case.
Presumably you'd have dead eyes left.
And so on.
115 for 6.
115 for 6. That was actually the least expensive over of the innings from the Fat Lot of Use 11, making a spectacle of themselves. 11 going for it in the spirit in which the game was intended. Unlike, well, I won't finish that sentence. Dick Young was bowled by the non-turner from Dwayne Leverock for 30 off 9. Very good and enterprising stuff from the wicketkeeper. 4 4s and 1 6. 115 for 6 after 6 overs. 264 more to win. Who was going to bowl the 7th over?
Do you want to know who the new batsman is as well?
He won't be facing it.
Okay.
It's going to be Ian Austin to continue.
And no surprises there. Why change a winning formula?
Yeah, well, though he didn't take a wicket in his last over. 3 overs, 3 for 56.
He's going to be bowling to MJK Smith, who immediately just tickles him around the corner. They will take a comfortable single. And the new man, tall, angular, beaky, balding, surprisingly reminiscent in appearance of Groucho Marx. In his large horn-rimmed spectacles that he only started wearing because his cartoonist drew him wearing them, or a cartoonist. It is, of course, the Maverick of Surrey, destroyer of other D-bot teams. Let's see what he can do today. Percy Fender.
No surrender, Percy Fender.
Well, he is going to be facing, and he's immediately off the mark with a 3 actually. Doesn't quite reach that cover boundary. Merv Hughes swoops on it like a giant mustachioed eagle, and it will only be 3 runs for Percy and bring MJK back onto strike. Oh, immediately gets a single. Thank you, Bear. tucked away. Back on strike comes Percy Fender. Well, he's got his iron now. He's 2 skips down the wickets, back over Austin's head, and the worst of football is book Hendo is holding up. Is it picture of Watford on the? Is that Watford you've got there?
No.
Why are you showing it to me then? Oh, it's you. It's you.
Yeah.
Hendo is in an unscheduled
Hendo's advertising his own book.
self advertisement. Hendo is advertising his own books, available at a discount in all good bookstores. So you can talk about some of your other books a bit later, Hendo, but that was a magnificent 6 by Percy Fender, who's going to go down swinging. He's going to go down a door.
What was that book, Hendo?
Worst of football. It just happens to be on my shelf here.
Shameless.
And Percy Fender gorgeously strokes this away through extra cover. Mark Cosgrove huffs, puffs, pants and waddles, but he won't cut it off, and it's 4 runs.
Now my engine's going, great guns, I hit the ball, 4 runs, I hit the ball, and it went for 4 runs.
1 to come, target under 250 now.
Well, indeed it is. In comes Austin, and thank you very much indeed, says Percy, as he pulls this.
That went
this
like
time.
a tracer bullet.
Pulls it through square leg. WG barely sees it. 4 runs it is. End of the over. Oh, it's not the end of the over. Yes, it is the end of the over.
Yes, it is the end of the over.
No one told the bear.
100. I did say it a few times. 134 for 6 after 7 overs. 245 more to win. Percy Fender 17 off 4. MJK Smith 33 off 12. Ian Austin yet again going for 19, which he's gone for in 3 of his 4 overs.
He's been consistent.
He has been consistent. Leah, who's changed her screen name to Leah Wicket Witch, which I like, the Wicket Witch of the West. Every time Tony announces a medium-sized appeal, it's a no ball. I think he's onto something. And also says, I am become Percy Fender, destroyer of bowling attacks. And the ghost of Zoob says, I was cremated in a bespectacled coffin.
There you go. Yeah, I had a burning desire to have that happen. Okay, who have you got, Hendo?
Still Dwayne. Swing Dwayno.
Finish this off. It's going to be the big Bermudan, Russell Dwayne, Mark Leverock.
I've lost the ball.
The nerves are clearly he's gone to look for another book to advertise or promote. What's he going to bring back this time? The worst of cricket?
Something like that.
He's got 2 books.
I've got a copy of that on my shelf, actually.
Yeah. The Kama Sutra? No. What have we got, Hendo? You might as well do your advertising now, because I saw
We've got a ball, Tony.
Oh,
there's a 3.
hang on. Let's have a look. We're going to look at. It's the worst of cricket 2.
Yep.
More malice and misfortune.
Is that Andrew Simons clotheslining a pitch invader?
Indeed.
And well, goodness me, it's a big arse on the front, not behind it, I hasten to add. And that's worked away for. Hang on, there's some cricket going on here, Hendo. Can we we'll advertise your next your work in a couple of balls' time. And as people have been waiting, that ball was clipped away for 3. They've taken those 3. It will bring who's on strike?
MJK Smith just clipped that 3, so it's Percy Fender on strike on 17 off 4. 137 for 6, 242 more to win.
Beating the big Bermudan. Percy Fender again just pulls this. It's between Austin and WG. Not Austin, because he's bowling, isn't he? No, he's not. Leverock's bowling. Between Austin and WG, away for 4. Fine effort. Going well.
My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
In comes Leverock again. This time Percy Fender just guides this away through the covers. Merv Hughes will just pull it up short of the rope. They're chipping away at this total, but it's the lower order having to do it. Shall we have a quick word from our sponsors, Hendo's Dodgy Book Publications Limited? Who have we got? Who have we got this time? Are you not showing it?
No, I'm just having a bit of fun because they've all been remaindered. You can't buy them new anymore.
Ah, well, you worth looking out for. I've read your Worst of Cricket. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I mean, yeah, I've got a copy of it as well. I bought it as a Christmas present some years ago. I quite enjoyed it. Oh, is that the if it were raining Palliser? Oh yeah,
if it were raining, I'd get hit by the dunny door.
Yep.
Yeah, fine author is
Still get it off Kindle.
The flattery is genuine because it's going to make absolutely no fucking difference to this game, which is going south at a rapid rate for the bespectacled lads. What have we got this time? But it's another 3 from MJK Smith. Nicely tickled away, pulled up on the mid-wicket boundary by WG Grace, who's having to do some work out there. In again comes Leverock, another medium-sized appeal, and another no ball. Linux Lear, are you listening? The wicket. Extraordinary. Who's facing it?
That was Fender. That was Fender who survived that no ball. Leverock's first of the innings. Third, 3 from the making a spectacle of themselves 11 to go with the 6 in the fat lot innings. Still 2 to come in this over.
Indeed there are. Dwayne Leverock to bowl them. Oh, what a superb shot by Percy Fender. Late cut past Samit Patel all the way to the backward point boundary for
150 up, 152 for 6.
152 for 6. And again, once more, Percy Fender just clips this through square leg, still left vacant by with probably a touch of arrogance there because they feel that they've clearly got enough, but it's away for 4 more.
That brings to an end Dwayne Leverock's second over. He's taken 1 for 38 off his 2 overs, including a no ball. MJK Smith is 39 off 14. Percy Fender is 32 off 9. This partnership
stand here.
Yeah, this partnership 41 off 13, 5 fours and 1 6, all hit by Percy Fender. So MJK Smith is basically acting as his runner. Making a spectacle of themselves 11, 156 for 6, trail by 223. Leo Wicketwitch says the East German euphemism for coffin was Erdmöbel, which means earth furniture. And Jeff Perkins says, worst of football review, helped start the fire very nicely.
I felt the earth furniture move from under my feet.
Was that off Amazon?
No.
Anyway,
156 for 6, 8 overs gone. Who's bowling the 9th? Surely Ian Austin's got to get a break.
Ian Austin's having a break, and into the attack is coming Warwick Armstrong himself.
Let's see if where is he? Where is? Well, he's bowling to MJK Smith. The big ship has another chance to sail one more time on the Ali Ali-O. And he's going to be sailing in to MJK Smith. And immediately, there's a modest, quiet appeal, which is met with, once again, a stern refusal by the umpire. In comes Armstrong again. MJK Smith, he doesn't like that kind of tormenting, so he just takes a quick single. They run through, brings the more aggressive Percy Fender onto the attack, and immediately he looks to find the cover boundary. It won't get there. It's pulled up there by Merv Hughes. They take 3, and back onto strike will come MJK Smith. Comes Warwick Armstrong again. A modest, polite appeal, and this time he has breached the defences of MJK. What a bowling change! The big ship has fired its big cannons, and they have blasted a great big hole in the defence of MJK Smith, who has gone for don't know how many now.
Or an innings leading 40 off 17 balls, 4 fours and 1 6. Rather lost momentum in trying to keep giving Percy Fender the strike, though bowled by Warwick, the big ship Armstrong. 160 for 7 after 8.4 overs. Still 219 to win into the making a spectacle of themselves 11's very long but surprisingly effective tail.
Well, and of course it is none other than Alf Valentine, immortalised by Egbert Moore, better known as Lord Beginner.
We are. I think our listeners were, we weren't.
Two balls left of this Warwick Armstrong over.
Sometimes Zoom doesn't seem to take the jingles to you, but they're always playing.
Here comes right arm, fast, medium. And well, Alf Valentine. He may be bespectacled and not particularly muscular of stature, but my goodness me, he got every single pound of his weight behind that. Back up over the bowler's head for 6 runs.
6.
One to come.
What has the big ship got? Well, he's got the taste so much that they could. Is it going to go for 4? It's not. It's pulled up by Merv Hughes on that cover boundary. They'll come back for 3. It ends the over and it will keep Alf Valentine on strike.
Yes, on 9 off 2, Percy Fender 35 off 10. The best over the innings thus far from the Making a Spectacle, the Fat Lot of Use 11, as the captain brings himself on 1 for 13 off it. Very good over, marginally ruined, or not ruined, but made marginally worse by that 6 from Alf Valentine, who's scored some runs in this tournament, if I'm correct. 169 for 7, the Making a Spectacle of themselves 11 after 9 overs, 210 more to win. Gits and Grats in reference to the photo of you with those notes says, even in today's climate, I would sleep better at night hearing Tony read the news. And Leo Wicket Witch says, I can't believe Hendo doesn't bring on that Grace lad whose all-rounder qualities I've heard so much about.
Well, Hendo, who do you have coming on next?
I've got WG Grace.
Oh, you do have WG Grace.
Well,
there you are.
Easily led, me.
Easily led, yeah.
William Gilbert Grace.
Billy Jean, friend.
You haven't bowled him much in this tournament, Hendo.
Well, he's taken 4 wickets.
No. Yeah, he's had his moments, but
including himself.
Yes, indeed. He's but I perhaps left a little bit late to come on because he was on a bit of a high after that good innings he played today. So let's see if he's still got the adrenaline flowing.
Bowling to Alf Valentine.
To Alf Valentine he is, and Alf Valentine is no respecter of a man who has statues and gates and other things named after him, because he has slapped this over mid-wicket where WG Grace was patrolling. It's now Ian Botham who's gone out there, but he ain't going to stop that. That's well and truly gone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6.
Oh, however, big shout. This was a big shout this time. Not out.
Get those fat fingers working, Bear, you fuckwit.
I've lost track. Oh, that's Alf Valentine, isn't it? Alf Valentine is facing WG. 6.
Yeah, he's on 15 off 4. 175 for 7. 204 more to win.
In comes the doctor. Again a shout. Surely this time. Indeed. Alf Valentine, a big swing, a miss, leg stump, pegged back, and Alf Valentine, in brief but glorious, but gone.
Yeah, wicket for
correct approach from Alf. Sorry,
good shout.
Correct approach from Alf. Correct approach. A shout of indeterminate volume. Alf Valentine doing the right thing. There's nothing to be gained from him nudging and nurdling. 15 off 5. He scored with 2 sixes bowled by Dr. William Gilbert Grace. 175 for 8 after 9.3 overs. Still 204 to win.
Yes, indeed. So coming to the crease to keep company with, well, no longer Alf Valentine because he's gone, of course. Percy Fender still there. And to keep him company, a man who performed some of the heroics that saw the bespectacled 11 over the line when he made 30-odd, I think, against Grubby's Weaves. But of course it was Devon Malcolm was the main destroyer. So all is not lost when you've still got Paul Allott and then Devon Malcolm to come. But Paul Allott is the man at the crease. And he's facing, of course.
Wait up, here's the kicker. He's Paul Allott. He was 6'4". He should have bowled much quicker.
Facing WG. What's WG got? Well, it's a bouncy, almost beaten by the bounce there, but he's away with a 2 is Paul Allott, so he's going to come back. In comes the doctor, who dispenses a fairly loose and ropey ball, which Paul Allott cuts away for 3.
1 to come.
Back onto strike comes Percy Fender, and Percy Fender again, it's a 2 short by the doctor, probably huffing, puffing and tiring a wee bit, and he's pulled to the mid-wicket boundary for 4.
2 + 2 is a member.
Is Fender perhaps rediscovering some of that form that has served him so well in this innings and indeed in this tournament? It remains to be seen. He is on 39 off 11. Paul Allott is on 5 off 2. 184 for 8. The making a spectacle of themselves 11 trail now by just 195. I say just. Leo Wicketwitch says, now that I've seen him, I have to say that my fat round armour of choice is still Lasith Malinga. He has a better haircut and facial hair too.
This is true, not a bad shout. Okay, Hendo, who's next?
Warwick Armstrong continuing.
Warwick Armstrong, the big Victorian from Kyneton in Victoria. He's going to be bowling to Paul Allott, I think. Paul Allott clips this nicely off his toes. It's away to the mid-wicket boundary. It's fielded down there by the doctor, who's got more work to do. They come back for 3. This one, though, there's a medium-sized shout. And again, don't know why they bother with these medium-sized shouts, because they just seem... the stumps have gone flailing in all directions. Warwick Armstrong has done the trick. Percy Fender has gone. Hendo double fist pumps, Klopp-like style. And they are 1 wicket away from a glorious cup-winning victory.
Well, and of a fine knock from Percy Fender. I can't give you the exact scorecard at this moment because my scoring app is playing up a little bit in that regard, but it's fine. Still scoring fine. 187 for 9, 192 more to win. Enter the man who scored 87 not out of 24 balls in the semi-final to get the making a spectacle of themselves 11 here.
It's down to Allott and Malcolm again. Devon goes, what again?
Malcolm Devon, and his neck so small that you can hardly see. And in 94 the Sappers fell 1 by 1.
This bit is him.
9 for 57 from Devon Malcolm.
Can he do the heroics? Here we go.
And well, he swings and rather edges that, but it's over the head of Leverock and Botham and down to third man, where Ian Austin is patrolling where Warwick Armstrong was, and it's 3 runs. And the next ball, which is this time is Paul Allott, is clipped away. They will hang on. I thought I missed a. Did I miss a 3?
Devon Malcolm hit a 3 first ball, then Paul Allott's just hit a 4.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Malcolm 3, and Allott just carves this backwards Amit Patel. And again comes Warwick Armstrong in once again. 4 runs. Fine shot from Paul Allott.
1 to come.
deft late shot, and again same ball, and again it's just waited for, played under his eyes with consummate batsman-like professionalism and grace, just superbly done by Paul Allett. It's 4 more.
Not that grace, or that one, or indeed that one. Paul Allett, 20 off 6 with that flurry of boundaries, 18 runs off that over from the big ship, who's at 2 overs, 2 for 31, 200 up, 202 for 9.
200 is indeed up, 202 for 9.
177 more to win. Paul Allett on 20 off 6, and facing will be Devon Malcolm, hero of the semi-final, on 3 off 1, facing up to...
It's going to be an interesting move, this, by Warwick Armstrong. He's taking himself off despite getting a wicket in his last over, and he's going to hand the ball to Ian Terence Botham.
It's in fact WG who he's taken off, having got a wicket in his last over.
That's what I meant.
That's right, it's Be Fair. Beefy has got boring. Yes. That's right, it's Be Fair.
Stop press. We've had a donation. Jonathan Shawland, 40 quid. Thank you, Jonathan.
Oh, magnificent.
Fantastic. That's wonderful news. Thank you indeed for that. A reminder, of course, that we are playing this not just for Hendo's pleasure, but also for for the cause of JDRF, to research juvenile diabetes, type 1 diabetes. You can go to our Just Giving page. If you Google Guerrilla Cricket Dick Well Abroad, you'll find it easy enough. It's on all of our social media feeds. Anything you can give is just most graciously received by us and by them with the most enormous thanks. Now, Hendo, who have you got?
He just said it's Ian Botham.
Oh, Ian Botham, of course it is. Of course it is. Whose daughter, of course, is type 1. He climbed Kilimanjaro twice, did Ian Botham, for diabetes research.
The worst thing was that he came back down again.
Well, indeed he did, and he's served up an absolute shocker there, which, who was that, Knuckle?
Devon Malcolm.
Devon Malcolm, who surely history couldn't strike twice, but Malcolm has just spanked this over the head of WG Grace for 6 runs. What a shot.
2, 4, 6.
Botham in again. Oh, same again. Once again. This one, though, is just carved over extra cover. Over Merv Hughes, just swearing, chuntering to himself under that bristly tash. Can just watch it over his head. It's 6 more.
6.
He took 8 for 34 once at Lord's, did Botham. In he comes, and has he done it? Is this it? Is this the ball? No, it isn't. It's a no.
No! So close.
This is how it always goes with these ones.
Yet again from Ian Botham.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Smokey, you were over the line. That's a foul.
I think Grubby must have had in his 2 innings losses that were from horrible chases, had about 6 no balls.
The last wicket partnership between Allett and Malcolm was 107 in the semi-final. This would be that with great big bonging bells on. Still 164 more to win.
Oh, you just never know. Although there's another shout. This time I'm feeling like it must be again. The middle stump has gone. Hendo has the victory he desires. I am going to make it to the match. The bear has been unscrupulously dodgy.
Hey, fuck you!
Unscrupulously dodgy?
You
How can
man,
it be unscrupulously
listen,
dodgy?
all you ever fucking, you players, all you ever fucking do is blame me.
Quiet!
No, he's done a fine job. Hendo, quite rightly, has his arms aloft in triumph.
What's the trophy look like, Hendo?
The D-Box trophy.
Well, I assume you already had it.
You can't see it. It's in the dark. What is it?
It's a can of lemon.
No.
It's a can of...
You should have bought yourself a trophy. You always knew you were going to win through scandal.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, we were 5,000 to 1 outsiders at the beginning of this tournament. If you look at the betting, and there was absolutely nothing dodgy about that betting at all.
Put 100 quid on yourself, you'd have won 500 grand, mate.
Well, yeah, no, but I don't do that sort of thing. I just set the odds. I don't.
Yes,
I don't do
a Leicester City-esque victory by 163 runs for the fat lot of Youth 11. They made 378 in their innings. The record score in the Dick Weller Broad Alzat Trophy, with 72 from WG Grace, 65 from Ian Austin, gainsaying Alf Valentine's 4 for 117. For the making a spectacle of themselves 11, well, it started very badly, or very well, depending on how you're looking at it, with Jeffrey Boycott being stumped by Mohamed Shahzad off Ian Austin for a golden duck, a diamond duck indeed, first ball of the innings. And then David Steele, 6-4 and out, LBW to Austin, 10 off 3. Then there was a bit of, but credit to the making a spectacle of themselves 11 for keeping up the boundary hitting, scoring at a much faster rate actually than the fat lot of use 11. So the fat lot of use 11 scored at 18.9 and over, and the making a spectacle of themselves 11 scored at 21.5 and over. So quite considerable difference, but that target just too steep in the end, and they kept on losing wickets. The third to go was Eddie Barlow, who was bowled by Ian Austin for 19 off 6. Zahir Abbas caught by Mohamed Shahzad at the bowling of Merv Hughes, 19 off 7. Clive Lloyd didn't last too long, in 2 balls, in fact 4 and out, bowled by Merv Hughes. Then there was a very good partnership between Dick Young and MJK Smith. Dick Young falling eventually for 30 off 9, bowled by the demon non-turner of Dwayne Leverott. Then Smith put on a very good partnership with Percy Fender before MJK rather ran out of momentum. He fell for 40 off 17, bowled by the big ship Warwick Armstrong. That was the highest score of the innings. In fact, Alf Valentine was useful. There's kind of a similar story, in and out, and just the tyranny of that massive total. Too much to overcome for the making a spectacle of themselves 11. 2 sixes off his first 4 balls, and then bowled by WG Grace for 15. Percy Fender finally fell. He's been heroic this tournament, really, has the Maverick. 39 off 12, 6 fours and 1 6. Bowled by the skipper, Warwick Armstrong. And then after a bit of a false start with some no balls, Ian Terrence Botham finished it by bowling Devon Eugene Malcolm, who could not repeat his ridiculous heroics. 15 off 5. There were 4 no balls, could have been costly. In the end, weren't. Ian Austin, 4 overs, 3 for 75, 1 no ball. Rakim Cornwall has been superb with the bat, not so much with the ball in this tournament. 1 over, none for 25, 1 no ball. Merv Hughes, very effective. 1 over, 2 for 18. Dwayne Leverott, 2 overs, 1 for 38, 1 no ball. An absolute hero of the semi-finals and beyond. Warwick, the big ship Armstrong, doing fine work. The skipper, 2 overs, 2 for 31. WG Grace, not called upon very much with the ball, but doing his job when he needed to in the final. 1 over, 1 for 15. And Ian Botham, who was reserved to the end, an unfamiliar role for him in this tournament. He's usually been open to bowling. 3 balls, 1 no ball, 1 for 13. Very, very eventful. 215 all out. The making a spectacle of themselves 11. They win by 163 runs. We go now to the post-match presentation. Tony, did it all go wrong at the toss?
No, I don't think so. Unbeaten coming into this final, and every single game I had, or my team had chosen to field or been put in to field, but just didn't come off today. Things went Hendo's way. He did perhaps have the rub of the dice, but at the end of the day, you make your own luck, and he was indeed a worthy winner. We are happy to have got to the final, a bit like Watford last season. We may have got thumped, but at least we got there.
Magnanimous stuff from Tony. Hendo.
Was it magnanimous? I think there were some deep wounds in that little chat there from. I mean, you know, you got through against poorer teams to the final. You managed to get yourself into the final. You just didn't have the skills that were needed. You didn't have the ballast. You didn't have the guts. You didn't have the.
You have those in plenty.
You didn't have the. You know, in the end, you just were just lacking in class, I'm afraid, Tony.
Speaking of lacking in class, thank you, Hendo. I've been Knuckle and Pandey. I've been your host and social media wrangler and scorer for much of this tournament. I should go to some social media. Pirate Badshah, well, Turbanote says, I said it was fixed. Leah says, you still have time to put money on no runouts. Pirate Badshah says, congratulations to the fat lot of Use 11. After a hard time of it in the warm-ups, they picked themselves up and showed the world the serious heavy hitters They are party hat emoji, party hat emoji, party hat emoji, Ashes Earn emoji, Ashes Earn emoji, Ashes Earn emoji. Thank you to everyone for following us through this tournament. Tom Curson says on YouTube, that was incredibly enjoyable. Congratulations to Hendo. Commiserations to Tony and all the team. Etniak says, good virtual cricket, all the congrats to Hendo. Can you confirm your plans for the Windies series for us idiots who've not been keeping up with the Guerrilla newsfeed of late? We haven't officially announced it yet, but obviously we will be doing the West Indies series, and we'll be doing it in an exciting new development that we keep on innovating here at Guerrilla Cricket. We'll be doing it almost entirely remotely. We're very, very excited. We'll have more about that in the next couple of weeks, but we obviously the COVID thing has got us all thinking. But yeah, we're very, very excited about that series.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Tony, can I talk to you tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, of course you
or
can.
Or is he gone?
No, I'm still here. And yes, you can talk to me tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow about what we talked about today.
Rather underwhelmingly end to the tournament with conversations that should be had off air, on air, but twas ever thus here on Guerrilla Cricket. So it's goodbye from Hendo and Tony, goodbye from me. Thank you for his fine work to the Bear.
I've been here every bloody game, boys. Every bloody game.
You're a hero, Bear. You're my hero.
Yeah, wonderful stuff from Nigel the Bear Walker. Thank you to you for donating to JDRF UK throughout the tournament. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Join us again on July the 8th.
Yeah, join us again July the 8th, 2020 for real cricket. That takes us back. The end of the dice cricket. You've heard it all now, and you probably won't want to hear it again. Messi Jersey's back. Messi Jersey's back.
Our purveyor of fine liquor, Brian 001, says, hold up, the lunch break cricket episode is a replay from yesterday, so he's heard enough of it already.
Really? Was it? Was that a repeat, Bear, from yesterday that we just played, or was it the end of the...
It was a little bit of a repeat.
Oh, it was a little bit of a repeat. That's what the Bear's saying. He's not owning up to it being a complete repeat. But a little bit. Jacob should be with us. Where are you, Jacob? Are you there? Can we hear your name? Can we hear your voice? He's not there.
He's busy hypothesizing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's dissertating and various things like that. I'm going to admit him. Yeah. He's arrived. He's just written his latest piece about Busty Debbie for page 7 of the Sun. I don't know. I haven't seen the Sun for so long. I don't know whether it still has that in the does it have naked ladies in it still, Jacob?
No.
Okay.
They stopped that a while ago after much outrage, but I think it still occasionally has women in lingerie.
Lingerie.
Oh,
okay.
Right. Well, I just hope you don't mix up your dissertation with your filing for the Sun.
Oh, that would be hilarious, wouldn't it? That would be brilliant. I'd pay to see that. Anyway, straight after lunch, it's going to be this man to bowl.
Here's a face that I know. It's Jack Leach. Now coming up is Jack Leach. On Jack Leach.
And his first ball to Keegan Peterson is defended into the covers. He's got quite an attacking field, which I shall bring you when the camera pulls back. He's got a slip, a short square leg. He's got a short mid-off, a short extra cover, and that's beautifully cut by Peterson. There's no one much out there. Alex Lees, I think, eventually honing into view, and they've taken a couple, so 90 for 3. The deficit 174 as they endeavour and beaver away, trying to make England bat again at the very least. Leach in again. He goes back to this one, plays it right underneath his eyes, close to those stumps, but with great control. And there is no run. I should jingle up the South African batsman very shortly. It just seems to be a little delay, perhaps an adjustment being made to the field. Leach again. Yes, indeed, he's got a gully now, and Peterson is well forward, bat and pad close together. He just rolls the ball back off the face of his bat up to the man at short mid-off. When I say short, he's about almost pitch length away, or certainly where the crease is. That's given a little bit more air by Leach, and it's consequently driven with a little bit more venom by the batsman, but straight back to the bowler. Leach to complete the over, throws it up outside the off stump. Peterson goes back, lets it pass through to folks. We'll come to your tweets very shortly, but I'll just jingle up the men involved.
It may be that he's South African, but there's something about Keegan Peterson. It could just be that his name's so close to that other guy. What was a flog?
He closed his eyes only for a moment, and the ball was gone. All his innings pass before his eyes have opened. Dussin against spin. Rassie van der Dussin against spin.
Jimmy, Jimmy! Jimmy, Jimmy! Oh! Jimmy, Jimmy! Oh, little Jimmy, will let go.
Jimmy Anderson got rid of Dean Elgar this morning before the South African captain had added to his overnight score of 11. Bowled him a couple of beauties, one that went away a long way, beat him by some margin, and then one that he played for a little bit of extra angle perhaps, and took out his off stump, more than bent it back, it ripped it out of the ground. Dean Elgar was seen to also flick at it with his bat, the stump lying on the ground after he was dismissed. Anderson then it is to Rassie van der Dusen, and he's in. He brings this one in, and oh dear, the pain immediately for Rassie, who's got that we think dislocated finger or perhaps a crack in the bone, not 100% sure, but he took the top hand off the bat after playing that. If he is going to steer South Africa to a position where England need to bat again and need to score any sort of significant runs, he's going to be crying by the end of it, I think.
England are certainly looking for some reverse swing. The Anderson just slightly modified his action to cover the ball as he comes in, so he's clearly thinking there's a bit of reverse swing on offer.
Well, there certainly was for Anrik Nortje, I think, in the England innings. This is defended by Rassie van der Dusen and fielded at short mid-off. 90 for 3. Van der Dusen 14 from 46. Peterson 22 from 66.
Aiden Markram used to do that quite famously, didn't he? And Wacko Yunus, he used to cover the ball when it was reversing to not show which side the shine was on.
Well, I think also
which way the seam was canted.
Batsmen knew very little about reverse swing in those days as well. Anderson in bowls Van der Dusen. It's a big swinging delivery, and he's rather timid in getting his foot forward to defend that. Just you get the feeling that every hit of ball on bat is causing him discomfort. 2 slips, and as I say, those men at short mid off, short mid on Hayden if you like, off Hayden, perhaps a little bit wider of the cut strip than the off Hayden would be. Cloudy now in Manchester, which is not something.
That's a surprise.
Not something you say very rarely. Back goes poor old Van der Dusen again. He plays the shot, and then the top hand comes off the bat. We're kind of accustomed to seeing the bottom hand quite often come off the bat when there's the reverberation through it, but he's got the problem on his top hand, and that is causing him a lot of problems. Absolutely, you're right there, Jacob. It is reverse swing. You can see looking down the pitch at Anderson, so seeing him front on. He's covering it up, and when he does reveal it, at least to the television cameras, you can see that where the shine was or is. Here he is again. Bowles looking for a Yorker. Ooh. Dug out by Van der Dusen. I imagine that might have hurt if it was very low down on the bat, but he squeezed it away to long leg, so he's going to take the single. Happy for a bit of relief. Probably only one ball of relief, because that's all Anderson has left to bowl in this over. But yeah, he's bowling in swingers. He's bowling in swingers with the shine on the right side. Yeah, absolutely.
It is reversing quite markedly, and it's a hard skill to learn that. He's starting with the ball in his left hand, and as he goes into his gather, he's placing the ball in his right and covering it. And it's difficult to do, but if you can get the hang of it, the batsmen really, until it's coming straight at them, have no idea which way that ball's going to move.
Keegan Peterson is the man who's having to deal with such problems for the time being. Anderson is in, comes back into him, jumps a little bit and brings him to one knee, in fact to both knees. That must have caught him somewhere very painful indeed. I think the inside of the thigh or something even more.
The lower abdomen is the technical term.
The lower abdomen. The manly accoutrements, as we used to call it.
Yeah, that's
Messi.
He's certainly not holding his inner thigh.
No, indeed. Well, it's a very impressive inner thigh if he is. Messi, some tweets.
Mog says, that Dice Cricket highlight package has inspired me to organise an untimely dead 11. Woolmer, Phil Hughes and that Pakistani guy who got hit in the chest, walk-up starts. It'll probably include a lot of casualty from the Somme as well. That's sort of peak Mog, isn't it?
That is. I mean, I thought we were sort of scraping the barrel with fat blokes and specky blokes and balding blokes, but actually, yeah, dead blokes. That it really is the ultimate Dice Cricket 11, I suppose. Jack Leach will continue. None for 8 from 9 overs. He's been very economical.
I haven't been listening to the Dice Cricket, but if you count as perhaps in certain points in their career they could be described as, if you count Shane Warne, Murley and W.G. Grace as fat blokes, you've got a pretty good team.
Well, we did, believe me. This is nicely whipped away by Van der Dussen, being chased by Johnny Bairstow, who will slide and just about call it back, then has to leap back over the boundary because he's worried that the ball has got enough momentum to run into the sponge, but he did it well and prevents anything more than 3. South Africa moved to 94 for 3. And the umpire's checking on that. He's not 100% certain that isn't 4. I don't think it was. I thought he leapt back over.
Oh, he's done well there.
Yeah, no, he's done very well there.
Oh, unless he's just touched the sponge with his back knee.
Oh, yeah, he might
Really?
have it.
I don't think so. Peterson is going to face. 22 not out. And Leach has gone above 1 and over now with that shot. Left arm round the wicket, 3 men close to the wicket, and forward comes Peterson in defence. Plays out into the covers, and there is no run. Just twirling the ball from hand to hand is Jack Leach, who would get into anyone's baldy 11, let's be honest. He's in, bowls, defended again on the line of middle and off to the wider of the 2 short extras, if that's what you want to call them. There's a man at backward point, a short extra, a short mid-off. They're almost parallel. Leach in again. Peterson gives himself rooms, tries to cut, but still hasn't got quite enough room to throw the hands right through that, so he won't get any runs, as it's picked up again by the square of those 2 men. Leach in, flatter delivery, goes back, opens up, defends it down the onside of the pitch, fielded by the bowler. Who's got the feeling with Jack Leach that he's cold? He always seems to be blowing on his hands, whatever the temperature may be. Is that maybe just to give him a bit more grip? I'm not quite sure. He's in again. Peterson back, plays that quite nicely through the covers. This time there is going to be a run as Lees comes in off the boundary. They take a single. Peterson will keep the strike. Van der Dussen will be very happy with that. It's 95 for 3. Messi.
Leah says, I mean, the scum knows their readership very well. No chance in hell these efforts will be able to visit a porn website without their kids helping them. Jay's having a good day. He says it's a lovely day in Sheffield, and for once, when asked if I could help with 2 lost tourists, I'm guessing visiting family, I actually knew the way. To be fair, the way is centred around the River Don, which is hard to miss, but I felt briefly useful.
Oh, you're always useful, Jay. I mean, don't do yourself down. Anderson is in, bowl to Peterson. Peterson comes forward. That seems to hit quite high up on the bat, but it's eased square into the covers, and there is no run. 90.
Warren's asking if we had a lefties 11, either physically or politically, in the Dice Cricket. I don't think we did we?
Oh, I can't remember, to be honest. No, that would that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? have to try and remember how many teams did we have? Was it 8? Was it 8 teams? Was it 6?
I think a
can't remember.
lefties and a righties politically would be quite fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think you find too many lefties in cricket, to be honest. Played square, well, slightly backward of square on the offside. Leach Fields. There is no run. Sorry, Messi, you were about to say.
I think it might have been 6. I can't remember. I mean, I wasn't really engaged at the time because it was the wrong time of day.
Did we not do it? I thought, sure, we'd have done it for all of our various listeners around the world. We would have adapted for them. I think we probably we decided what would be the most amenable time for the most people, and so I can't remember what time that was. Probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, our time. Anderson into his 9th over, comes running in, bowls to Peterson. This one looked to me as if he was trying to get that to go away, but it's well met by Peterson, who's not exactly driven it, but pushed it firmly through mid-off, and they're going to run back for a third. And South Africa moved to 98 for 3. Now, Stuart Broad was talking that after 40 overs, these balls tend to go pretty dead. There's nothing much in them, and we are only 3 balls away from completing 40 overs. And although there's been some reverse since lunch, there haven't been any balls that have been desperately threatening for the South Africans. But Van der Dussen is a man batting with a handicap, really. Defends this one well. Immediately taking that top hand off the bat as soon as he can. As soon as he's barely completed the shot. This one he's guided into the onside. There is no run. 98 for 3. Claps from Zach Crawley. Encouragement from him. That slip. He's one of 2 slips alongside Root. Of course, Ben Folkes.
I like that Van der Dussen is spinning the bat in his hands, like Kane Williams, to make sure he's not gripping it too tight. I don't think he's gripping it very tightly at all, to be honest.
Anderson in again. Starts to swing, but then just continues on its line. No danger to Van der Dussen, who leaves it alone. Root is there, rubbing the ball fiercely down the back of his thigh to try and get as much work and shine on one side that he can. And South Africa are 166 adrift of making England bat again, and of course bringing their spinners into the game, perhaps. 2 very fine spinners. If the pitch does wear, could be a difficult run chase that England have to make. Anderson in, gets that done to swing into the pads, tucked to mid wicket by Van der Dussen. And there is no run. The end of Anderson's 9th over. He's got figures of 1 for 19. South Africa are 98 for 3. Messi.
Jay says it's also jolly nice weather, which just makes me suspicious. The light roller says tourists in Sheffield. You mean people lost, right? I think probably that's true. Chris Silvery Beam says afternoon Guerrilla Cricket, listening on Dog Walk, and sends us the Dog Walk's in quotations marks, and he's got hashtag solo pint, a picture of a very nice looking pint of Guinness, actually. The whiteness of the froth on top is just very appealing, and there's a cricket match in the background. That's a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Naked Fun Pornbot says Leach is mixing up his hand and his blowjobs.
All right, dear. Thanks for that. Leach is bowling, in fact, to Peterson, who defends to the man at short leg. Pressing right forward on this occasion. There's a slip and a gully, or you might even say a second slip. It's always moot point as to whether a second slip to a spinner is a gully. It's difficult to get them to not cover a lot of ground. This is defended by Peterson, who comes down the wicket to this one and covers up, having got there. Doesn't go through with an attacking shot and runs it straight back to...
had the most spin, apparently, according to this graph.
4.1 degrees, yeah. Gone back down to 3.6 now. Bowls again, driven, but again no flamboyant follow through, so just straight back to the bowler. Didn't hit it that hard. To the 40.
Is that indicative of Jack Leach, perhaps? I mean, he's getting a lot better, but on the day he was bowling there was very little spin. Then the day the South Africans were bowling,
there was a bit more,
markedly more spin.
Yeah, this is again defended on the front foot by Peterson. It's maybe a harsh but true point. I'm guessing, Jacob, on the basis that you have so much to do, you're not going to have time to do a Smacksimum article this week, are you?
No, sorry. No.
Bum. Full toss from Leach, driven powerfully by Peterson. May have got a little bit low down on the bat, but he picked out the man at mid-on, and there is no run.
What's your deadline, Hendo?
Leach defended on the back foot this time, although it was quite full. My deadline really is I'm quite busy. I'm working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so ideally as soon as possible. If you've got something you've got to get off your chest, as soon as possible. But I will accept things beyond Thursday, beyond Wednesday, of course. But the sooner you can get them in, the better for me. That's the end of the over. 98 for 3. It was another maiden. Messi, more tweets.
Leah says Gilchrist, who was made fun of by War for reading Das Kapital in the changing room, walks into both lefties 11s. Yeah, Gilchrist is an impossibly decent human being. I think you've also got Dizzy Gillespie, and Ian Chappell will be in there as well. Mog lists the teams from the Dick Weller Broad Trophy: Old Bastards, One Test Wonders, Naughty Boys, Beardy Bastards, Fat Bastards, and the Glasses one. So 6 of them, and 3 of them are bastards.
I don't think we're an old bastard. Yeah, we're an old bastards 11. That's. Do you mean technically, literally, sort of bastards, or do you mean just not particularly?
That was the name of the 11.
Oh, did we have an old bastards 11? Did we really? I can't believe we were that crude.
You had some people who were on more than 111 too, didn't you?
I think we ended up having to, because 1 or 2 commentators didn't fulfil their obligations. I'm afraid to say. I'm not going to name any names. Anderson will continue with 2 slips. He just seems to have swapped. Jack Leach, who was at backward point, has now gone over to a square leg slightly in front of square, and he's got a short cover. Anderson is in, bowls to Van der Dussen, who goes up on his toes to play this one, and Johnny Bairstow it is who's come across to that position, who rolls away to his left. He does like doing somersaults and handstands and all sorts of things, Johnny, in his fielding. Keeps him supple and interested. But the score remains 98 for 3. Van der Dussen 18, Peterson 26. Stokes goes down in one of the close fielding positions on the offside. This is turned away to long leg, and they'll take a single. Long leg had to come in a fair way to field that. There wasn't a great deal of pace on the ball. So South Africa move within a single of their 100. It's been a really hard trawl to get to even this point for them, losing Elgar, Hervé and Markram in the morning session. But these two are battling away. I say there is more cloud cover than there was this morning. And Anderson is in once more to Peterson, and Peterson chips out in the air, not far from the man on Hayden. And having beaten him, Ollie Pope, who put in the dive, it's gone straight off the mid-on. Stuart Broad, who has to chased it back towards the boundary, and they've got through for 2. But if Pope had been maybe a yard to the right, he might have snuffled that.
Snuffled it?
Snaffled it. Grabbed it. Caught it.
Oh, it was not far.
Taking it in the breadbasket.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's come off the top of his hand.
Did he get a fingertip to it? He might well have done.
I think he might have.
So I think, yes, another yard to the right, and it would have probably been a quite easy catch.
It was good reactions from where he was.
Anderson in again, brings this one in, he chops it down, does Peterson, and it bounces over the stumps, but he was alarmed for a moment that the momentum of the swing would take that back into the off stump. So really that was a worrying moment for him.
On the second look at the replay, because my TV's on a delay, I think Ollie Pope did get actually a fairly meaty part of the hand to that.
Really?
I think it's just come off maybe 4 fingers.
But the very tips off them all the same.
Yeah. Let's have a maybe get a second viewing of that at the end of the over. Anderson in, and that's sweetly timed by Peterson. Finds the gap through mid wicket, and poor old Stuart Broad has to do more work. Slides, picks up and throws, all in pretty much one action. And they get through for 3 more. 104 for 3. And as you said, Anderson keeps hiding that ball. And that was reverse again, but it was reversed nicely onto his legs. And Peterson picked his spot quite well. Partnership now worth 50, yeah.
I think if we ever make a remake of Dice Cricket, we could have quite a decent young bastards 11 as well. People who maybe started in international cricket below the age of 21.
Onto the front foot, Van der Dussen plays square to Bairstow in the covers, and there is no run. That is the end of the over. It's 104 for 3. Messi.
Jay says, I think you laughed a wee bit too quickly about me being useful, Jeremy. Also, we tried an England lefty 11 on Test match sofa. Contemporarily, it were harder to get further, shut up Hornbot, than Russell and Hoggard. He also says, well, those people were lost, but I assume that they were in the city itself for a reason. It wasn't my place to inquire, although I did want to. Mog says, open the maximum to all chumps and watch the quality roll in. Well, all chumps who want to put them in, I'm sure Hendo will be very keen to consider.
Oh, absolutely. Any articles
at the standard rate of 0 pence per word.
That's right. That's right. You can't say fairer than that, can you? Absolutely. We are an open. What's the word? Open door. We're an open sesame. I don't
Open
know.
laptop.
We're an open laptop. Yeah, absolutely. Always helps to open the laptop before trying to do this maximum. Yeah. I mean, if you have got something to say, you want to get something off your chest. If you're amusing, we know that not many of you are in Twitterland. No, of course you are. You're very, very funny. And you make the show, defended by Peterson as Leach starts a new over. So please feel free to email me at nigelhenderson@hotmail.com if you have an article that you wish to spread to the rest of the Smaximum fraternity and the Patreon fraternity. This is defended on the back foot by Peterson. He's now moved on to 31.
And the other thing we very much encourage is a response to anything that's been in the Smaximum. If you've got something to say about what someone else has printed, we very much welcome some discussion around it.
Absolutely. And of course, if you become a patron, as this is stroked up to mid-off, if you become a patron, you can join us on our Discord channel, which is basically Twitter without the idiots. So, you know...
Most of the idiots.
Well, there are quite a few idiots still, but...
Some of us are still there.
Yeah, that's true. Again, stroked up to mid-off, there won't be a run. As it's fielded by Anderson, I think, or was it Broad? I should be able to tell those two apart by now. It was Stokes, it was neither. Leach, in again, throws it up, driven. Didn't really get hold of it, skewed it a little bit. Stokes fields it at straight, short, mid-off. And then Leach goes for the rebound.
I will say, being able to contribute $2 a month is no barrier to entry for idiots.
That's probably true. Onto the back foot. There are plenty of idiots, though, that can afford $2 a month. They're going to get... Did they get a single there? No, he hit it so hard that even though the the point was set back a little bit, they didn't take a run. 104 for 3. Van der Dussen 19, Peterson 31. Messi.
We would point out that if you choose to contribute to the guerrilla cricket, then it almost inevitably proves you're not an idiot. Warren sends a photo of his two lovely dogs just sitting there with their leads on, looking a bit lost, and says, obviously I'm doing dog walks wrong. I think they're taking you rather than you taking them, Warren. Leah says, yes, Chappell, he was told by Bradman, we won't become friends because you vote Labour. Bradman being a massive Bradman again. Oh,
Bradman living up to his name. Anderson will continue his 11th over, being the end of my spell at the end of this over. Anderson is in, bowls, brings that one back in, but the battling Van der Dussen hangs on in there, jabs it into the onside, and there is no run.
I should just mention that if anybody happens to be a member of the Tory party out there and voting in the leadership election, I am running a campaign for people to do a write-in vote for the Honourable Sir Peter Mannion MP.
Are we talking Australian politics here?
No, British politics.
Peter Mannion? Who is Peter Mannion?
Yes.
From the thick of it.
Oh, yes. Sorry, okay.
I'm bored of this, I'm going for a Twix.
Right, yeah, I've watched the thick of it, but I haven't always picked up the names of the characters. Onto the back foot goes Van der Dussen, plays it to extra cover. Sort of
it's so much better than either of the alternatives.
Although I can fully imagine Boris Johnson being on the phone to Carrie saying, "Excuse me, darling, I've got to go. The bailiffs are coming to take away my will to live."
Yeah, I lost the will to live the day that he was made Prime Minister. Frightening. But it doesn't appear that we're going to get anyone better, does it?
Normally we're going to take away all the rest of Boris's stuff, so...
Hope so. Anderson in again to Van der Dussen. Oh, and he has a little fiddle at that one as he makes it go the other way. Makes it go away from him. He's been bowling primarily in duckers, but that one he got to just move away slightly, and Van der Dussen was well and truly beaten by it.
He is so good. He's such a good bowler to watch.
Sean Pollock was talking about this sort of skill in a Sky Sports cricket masterclass, and it's now been put up on YouTube with the headline being a quote from his masterclass talking about this, saying it's a very sexy thing to be able to do.
Very sexy thing. Anderson in bowls a sexy in-swinger. It's quite full, driven by Van der Dussen, but perhaps because he can't grip the bat tightly, doesn't really go through with a shot. And
only
Anderson
a bowler
feels...
would come out with that sentence, wouldn't they? Reverse swing is sexy.
Oh, it's kind of sexy, isn't it? It's kind of sexy.
We get it.
Test cricket is sexy. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. The bear has arrived. The bear's got a Holston pills. The Hoff bear has got a Holston. Is that a Brine? That's a Brine number, isn't it? Brine 001, who sends us beer. I'm going to have to move seats so the bear can come in. Unless you want to sit there. Driven by Van der Dussen. There's a nice gap there for him to fiddle that through. Certainly gets one. Does he come back for the second? Yes, he does. And the score has moved on to 106 for 3. One
so
ball
you're going on
left. I'm going on
to socials.
I'm going to socials. Yeah, we're pretty much up to date, aren't we?
So Jay Grover from 6 minutes ago is the next tweet.
Okay.
Talking about US IT context.
I'm not going to spray my microphone with Ineos now because I'm suffering from the effects.
You're basically breathing your Ineos onto the microphone at this point.
I probably am actually. I didn't do it for this session. I should get the wet wipes out though. Maybe it's the
your
wet
breath
wipes.
is now antibacterial.
Oh yes, I will, because I took it from further down the line, didn't I, Bear? Yeah, talking about microphones. Sorry, not very interesting for you guys. Anderson in, bowls another one that he's either trying to get it to go in from quite wide outside the stump or get it to go away. It didn't really do either, but it foxed Van der Dussen enough that he didn't actually end up playing a shot. That is the end of the over, 106 for 3. I'll play you a little jingle that reminds you that you should give money to us. Here we go.
Alternative cricket commentary, bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are Gorillas. We need your patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
What beautiful timing that ad has. Just as Jack Leach comes in to bowl his first ball, it's over and it's defended by Keegan Peterson very firmly and very nicely out into the offside for no run. We welcome back the bear, complete with beer in hand.
First beer of the day, and a lot of water earlier.
At 2 o'clock, I'm shocked there.
I know. Trying to be good.
As that's again defended by Peterson. Big stride forward, straight bat, together with pad, no run.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. I was hoping for a wicket straight after lunch.
Well, you never know, Bear. There's still plenty of time left, as that's left alone by Peterson, and just straightens up enough that it's not going to trouble his off stump. Yeah, there's another hour and a half to go.
Nah, true. I'd like Stokes to give himself a go if his knee will hold up.
Yeah, good call.
Robinson can come back as well. Yeah, there's a couple of different options. Broad hasn't bowled too much, but he did bowl quite recently. Oh, as that's turned, I think, a little bit, and Peterson's played down the wrong line and a bit outside edgy towards the extra cover region when he was trying to play it through mid-on. I think we'll see a replay of that, but it looks like it's just straight enough and taken the outside edge quite thick as he goes back to that one, and that one looks like it was coming in. Less turn on that one. It's played off the back foot. He steps away. Quite a big gap between bat and pad, but no run for it. Beach will bowl the final ball of this over. In he comes. Straighter, and he just followed up with his hands to Peterson to dab it into the offside. Slip runs round. Go route, I think. No run there, and it ends the over 106 for 3. I think that was a maiden, and tweets.
Absolutely. Jay Grover says, from a US context, it does seem a wee bit bizarre that being vaguely curious about the world and a decent human being means you are a radical leftist.
Yeah.
I'm only one of those three things, and once voted for Nick Clegg. Brackets, I repented at leisure. GC Radio Naked Fun Porn, but I'm going to ignore that one. Leah says, well, at least you're no vanity press. I don't know, there's plenty of vanity. Plenty of vanity at Guerrilla Cricket, believe me. May not see it when we're on air. Twitter without the idiots, yet I'm allowed in there. Caveat emptor, says Mog. More to come after some more cricket.
Wrong way.
Yeah, I know.
Here comes Anderson. Into Vanderdussen. Defended firmly. Down into the floor, straight away. Anderson regathers off his own bowling and there'll be no run.
There's a lot of self-deprecating nonsense going on from all you guys. Jay Grover says, I contribute more than $2 a month and I'm an absolute tool. And Warren said, Discord is idiot distillation. Yeah, something like that.
You get a finer quality but stronger idiot.
Yeah, it was...
the strength is increased.
Very, very strong. It's at least 53%.
Higher idiot by volume. As Vanderdussen plays that out to the offside, there is a man there who will run round, and there's another man there who will collect it when the man running around doesn't get it. So, quite a few men on the offside, it would seem.
Johnson will never lose the will to live, says Joe. He exhibits Hendo-esque tenacity. Oh, there's nothing tenacious about me, mate. I give up almost as soon as I'm...
Yeah, you give up very easily.
I give up very easily, yeah.
Vanderdussen just looking around, maybe a slight field change. I think I could see some people moving about. There's a second slip, and the first slip indeed. There's two men on the leg side there. I imagine there's another one deep. There's a short mid-off, as that's played out into the offside, to Point, who is also there, and there's a slightly deeper extra cover. The Point is in relatively close. Mid-off is in very close, and extra cover is a little deeper.
Yeah, South Africa have got to be a little bit careful here. They're hardly looking to score.
Yeah, but I mean...
I know you've got to sit in, but you're still 158 runs behind. This is the third innings, not the first. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't...
Well, at some point, a new ball's going to come along. You want to...
Yeah, but not for another 35 overs. And
you've only scored 158 and 45. You want to be ahead when a new ball comes along. Crying out now.
No, you only scored 106 in 45. Trail by 158.
In comes Anderson. Oh, has that beaten the outside edge? It has. Vanderdussen draws his bat back inside the line. It's good ball from Anderson, shaped to go away and then nip back in, and Vanderdussen just gets his bat out the way. There's also an on Hayden as well as the off Hayden, and then a wide mid on behind the on Hayden, a man at mid wicket, and then I assume a man at deep square leg or deep